to all the attendees. In a world filled with the clamor of everyday life, we've gathered here to revel in the magic of language, the power of words, profundity of human articulation, and the prismatic spectrum of ideas they bring to life. The Kulwant Singh Literary Fest is not merely an event for us at Bhavans. It is an opus of voices, a nexus for inquisitive intellects, and above all, a sentiment deeply etched in our hearts for our founder chairman, Sir Kulwant Singh Ji. It is in his honor and on his birth anniversary we commemorate this day. I deem it my pleasure to welcome each one of us to this inaugural session of the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literary Fest. Lighting a lamp is a beautiful tradition symbolizing the awakening of wisdom and prosperity. Let us now commence this auspicious occasion with the lighting of ceremonial lamp by our respected dignitaries. May I request the distinguished dignitaries, members of the Kendra Committee and Madam Principal to light the ceremonial lamp.
Never ever. I shall take it up. I'm very clear in my mind.
May this light shine ever so bright and dispel all the darkness which surrounds us at any given point of time. Before we delve into the intellectual pursuits of LitFest, let us commence it with a beautiful tradition that calls upon the grace of Goddess Saraswati. This ritual is a humble offering seeking inspiration for the enlightening journey that we are about to embark on.
Ah
Today, we've come together to honor the remarkable life and legacy of a soul who touched so many, our founder, chairman, late Shri Kulwant Singh Ji. Let us revisit the magnanimous works done by him that have shaped several lives and hearts through this video. Over to the tech team.
A man of exceptional caliber, a magnanimous and simplistic soul, a great golfer, an avid reader, a radiant and endearing personality, a true visionary, the founder chairman of Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula, Shri Kulwant Singh. A warm and humble persona who believed in the idea of simple living, high thinking. He had an eye for detail and an ear for beauty, in originality which speaks for itself. It all began with a goal, a vision to provide quality education to every child and contribute in his sustained growth towards becoming a valuable and responsible member of society. A limitless power of imagination and confidence brewed together with noble thoughts marked our chairman's soul. Creativity glimmered through his words, actions and ideas. He was a radiant and endearing soul who had the key for all locks. From art exhibitions to literary events, from ragas of music to beats of dance, he had immense knowledge of it all, and his creativity was the driving force of all the events. Our best man, our most beloved, our respected Shri Kulwant Singh was indeed an inquisitive man. His curiosity to discover and learn new things was unmatchable, which reflected in his ideas and vision. His curiosity made him a voracious reader who liked to read books of all genres: historical, mythological, fictional, philosophical, and creative non-fictional. One could never pinpoint what was so inspiring about Shri Kulwant Singh that sparked such instant ambition and hard work in everyone he met. But what one could definitely never ignore was his unfathomable confidence. The dictionary defines consciousness as the state of being aware of and responsive to one's surroundings. And it would not be wrong to say that this is what Shri Kulwant Singh wanted every student studying in Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula to carry along with him when he stepped into the outside world.
आपको सिल्वर जुबली की बधाई और आप लोग जिस ढंग से काम कर रहे हैं, आज भवन जिस स्थान पे खड़ा है वो हमारे टीचर्स का तो रोल होता ही है बच्चों को पढ़ाने का, लेकिन जब तक उनके साथ आप नहीं बच्चों की देख रेख और सारे कैंपस की और दूसरी देख रेख नहीं करते तो वो काम पूरा नहीं हो सकता। आप सब लोगों ने जिस मेहनत से, जिस लगन से, जिस ईमानदारी से काम किया है उसका नतीजा है कि आज भवन विद्यालय पंचकूला न सिर्फ इन 3 शहरों में, सारे हरियाणा में और जो भवन का परिवार है सारे भारत में, उनमें सबसे अग्रणी।
Such was the charisma of our beloved chairman, sir. We are greatly indebted for the bazillion things he has done for Bhavan. His fond memories and enlightening words will be forever our guiding light. We will miss you.
And sir, we always miss you. Every time we watch this video, it makes us emotional. May I now request the school principal, Ma'am Mrs. Gulshan Kaur, to formally welcome this august gathering.
We always get choked with emotions when we see this video, because he has always been our guiding light. But yes, the show is to go on, and his vision has to be unfolded with every passing day. So let me, pull up my spirits, because he is there, and I feel that. And I feel that so personally. We say literature is the revelation of the soul, the record of the inner history of a nation, and the mirror which reflects the spirit of an age. My warm namaste to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literature Festival. This festival is not just an event, but a humble and a modest initiative taken up by our school to pay a befitting tribute to a very noble and a sagacious soul, our founder chairman, Shri Kulwant Singh. He always believed that the children should be given the wings to articulate their flight to optimum. And literature in all its forms has a remarkable ability to connect people, inspire change, and broaden perspectives. It reflects on the deepest of human emotions, feelings, and experiences. We live in an extraordinary era, one where artificial intelligence can compose poetry, draft stories, and even analyze literature. Salman Khan, in his book, now this is not that Salman Khan of Bollywood children, this is the other Salman Khan of Khan Academy. So Salman Khan, in his book, Brave New Words, narrates an incident where his 11-year-old daughter is having a real conversation with a make-believe character, Samantha, to write a story which is a modern twist on the classic deserted island tale using the power of AI. He remarks that the world he knew had suddenly shifted towards a strange new reality. And this was some Kurt Vonnegut level absurdity. Yet, amidst this technological marvel, it is essential to remember what makes us truly human: our emotions, perspectives, and the ability to connect deeply through the written and the spoken word. Because words have the power to touch your soul and ignite it in the shadows of the dark, or blow us off from illumination to obscurity. So let's choose our words wisely, because they are deeper than the ocean and as vast as the sky. And this Lit Fest, dear children, holds before us the charm of words. The sessions are curated to the interest of our students, and how grateful I am to all the distinguished authors, poets, and scholars who have readily accepted our invite to share their wisdom with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students, let's put our hands together to welcome Ms. Rajni Shekri Sibyl Ma'am, Mr. Ashok Lavasa and Ms. Naval Lavasa. Mr. Vivek Atray will be soon joining us, Dr. Pavan Sudhir Ma'am, Mr. Vineet Panchi, Dr. Jyoti Singh, Mr. Sandeep Joshi, Mr. Hriday Kaushal and Dr. Arvind Dwivedi will also join us, and all other learned dignitaries to the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literature Festival. Dear all, this year is the 25th year of the Kargil War, and tomorrow we will welcome some special guests from the Defence Services who will share their saga of valor. And yes, dear children, you will witness the presence of General Ved Prakash Malik, Captain Yogendra Yadav, Paramveer Chakra, Colonel Balwant Singh Panghel, Mahavir Chakra, who got these, awards for the Kargil War, in conversation with Colonel D.S. Cheema, and sharing stories of supreme sacrifice and bravery with us. We will also have Mr. Vijay Vardhan, Mr. Max Serene, Mr. Rupinder Singh, and the celebrity chef Vikas Chawla. He is there with us as well today. And they will all join us tomorrow for the sessions. And we are also grateful to Captain Amrinder Singh, for having accepted to be a guest speaker, but unfortunately we have received the message that he is unwell. So we wish him all the best for his speedy recovery, and of course we are going to miss his riveting session during the Lit Fest. Now let me express my gratitude and also welcome our erudite members of the Kendra committee. I also welcome in particular our Vice Chairperson Mrs. Aarti Gupta ma'am, Manju Gupta ma'am and Colonel D.S. Shima. Their presence is a testament to their unwavering support to foster a culture of learning, creativity and holistic development in our institution. Our Secretary, Mr. Kulbhushan Goyal, will join us tomorrow for the session and other members as well. And I'm also very thankful to our Chairman, Justice G.C. Garg, who, although not present today, but he has sent his blessings for all of us. I also want to extend my heartfelt welcome and thanks to Amar Kulwant Singh. She is the wife of our founder chairman. She requires no introduction. Ma'am, you have been the architect of this Lit Fest. And you have been our strength, our guiding light and whatnot. Thanks for always being there for us. We also have among us Mr. Anil Sharma, the Regional Education Officer of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, North and Northeast region. We welcome you, sir. The Chilean biologist Maturana wrote a beautiful prayer of a student to his teacher. Show me so that I can stand on your shoulders. Reveal yourself so that I can be something different. Don't impose on me what you know. I want to explore the unknown. And I know I have my children who want to explore the unknown. And be the source of my own discoveries. Let the known be my liberation, not my slavery. So dear children, this is your opportunity to discover yourself and build your learning schemas. Be curious, listen intently, engage actively and ask questions. Every discussion, every workshop and every story shared here will be a spark that can light the fire of your creativity and passion. Remember, your voice matters. And your words have the power to shape the world around you. I hope this festival fills you with inspiration, excitement, and a deeper love for the written word. So dive in wholeheartedly and let this festival ignite your literary pursuits. Thank you and God bless us all.
Sure, our students will definitely remember the lessons taught by you. Be curious and ask questions. And thanks for this wonderful lesson, I think, ma'am, which everybody, each one of us should understand, choosing the words accurately. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues, it is my honor and rather a privilege to introduce the keynote speaker of today, Ma'am Mrs. Rajni Sekhri Sibal, a distinguished officer of the Indian Administrative Service. Among Ma'am's many accomplishments, she was the first woman to top civil services examination in the year 1986 and the first woman in India to head the National Institute of Disaster Management. A huge round of applause, and ma'am, we are really proud. Ma'am is a prolific writer and has to her credit several articles and books, including Are You Prepared for a Disaster, Women of Influence, 10 Extraordinary IAS Careers, and many more. We welcome you, ma'am, on stage.
Madam Principal, Mrs. Kulwant Singh, cannot avoid taking the name of my first trainer, Shri Lavasa, Mrs. Lavasa, members of the trust, Manjuji, Colonel Chima, Madam Gupta, dignitaries in the front row and the second row. Children, friends. As I'm looking at that the child in the third row, looking up at me with a certain wonder. The thought that came to me as I walked up was, what would the child in me think of the adult I have become? And it's a thought that kind of is rather deep, because you can be who you are, you can do what you think is right, but somewhere there is that child in you which continues to go back to when you were in school and looked up at a keynote speaker and wondered, what is it that she's done? What is it that he's done? When would I be there? I am just a wordsmith. That's the way I want to be known. I have worked in various careers, done various things, stand before you as someone who's delighted to be back in Chandigarh. I asked myself, in fact my doctor asked me, because I've just been through a surgery, about why would you want to travel all that way and go on a cold winter morning? It's because I love Chandigarh. It's like coming home. It's more because I have a lot of respect for Mr. Kulwant Singh ji. There's a little something, forgive me, because that's what I do. I am a poet, and I wrote something while I was just after my walk this morning for him. What can I say about a man who taught me, what can I say about a man who taught me the dignity with which to make a tough choice, from whom I learned to stand firm and upright, who taught me I don't require to be rude or to prove my might. He was a person, he's no more, but there's something that we shared. We were very different in ages, because when I joined Haryana, he had just become the chief secretary, and a chief secretary children is like your principal today to a class 7 student. You know, it's unapproachable, up there, someone you look up to, someone you don't think you could ever be friends with. But surprisingly, over the years, we became friends enough for him to call me over lunch at the golf club, for Mrs. Kulwant Singh to come and sit with me over various cups of tea while I discussed a chapter I wrote the night earlier when I was posted here in Chandigarh. And a friend who, now that he's gone, is, I wonder, you know, the soft, tenuous thread that binds my soul to yours, sir, must have been spun by the deft fingers of a master craftsman from a very resilient yarn, because we've never met for many, many years. We've never even spoken. And then of course he's no more. But there were times when I could actually sit and talk about everything under the sun to him. And he was a very, very patient listener. Very patient, very calm, very supportive. And despite our differences in age, in generations, in whatever else, our backgrounds, I think what really bound us was our commitment to the work we did, the conviction that we could actually make a difference, the courage to be able to do it, and above all, our love for the written word. We would discuss books forever. I mean, how a particular novel inspired me, how P.G. Wodehouse continues to make me laugh out loud, even if I'm sitting in a crowd. And to me, ma'am, something that you told me after he went is what I hold very dear to my heart. That the last book I wrote, The Guru, which is actually anecdotes about Guru Nanak's life, told over 500 odd years in the oral tradition, but put down in a book by me called The Guru, was the last book he read. And I feel absolutely delighted to have been able to give him that little connect before he went. Before I get emotional, I have to talk about why I'm here, what I really want to say to you, and why is it that books, literature, words, the written word matter. Right. I think I was coming here with your counselor this morning, and she kind of told me that, I asked her, what are the problems children have? What is it they come to you for? What is the counseling you do? And I was told that the major issue that comes up is the internet, the overuse of the internet, and the lack of desire to read. Of course, I don't want to talk about the dark net and whatever else that she will in fact talk to you about it. But I do want to tell you about the beauty of the written word. It can take you to a totally different world. I could be Joan of Arc one day, and I could be Scarlett O'Hara another, and maybe for yours, those of you who are younger, Betty in the Ballery Towers, or whoever else. You were just kind of, in fact, if ever somebody asked me when I was younger, what does heaven sound to you? It's to be able to sit with a book, maybe a cup of coffee and some music in the background, and have nobody bother you while you're reading it. That's something that never quite happened. But now that I am by myself, this is what I do each day. Read and write, and kind of keeps you so young. That's the joy of reading. But I also want to give you reasons that make sense to each one of you. Maybe a particular reason would make sense to a particular person. One is the ability to grow from where you are. So as you grow in life, if you do not read, you do not evolve. The second reason I want to also give is basically the ability to think for yourself. And somebody said very correctly that a thinking man is what education is all about. If you can't think for yourself, then you're thinking something that somebody else has asked you to think or wants you to think. What is called an agenda. And somebody else's agenda is not a life you want to live, children. You're given one life. And that one life is all you have to make yourself the best you. Not in comparison with anybody else, but the best Rajni, better than what I was yesterday, is something that you want to do. And you can do that only when you can think for yourself. What's happening is, I'm not against electronic media per se, but what does happen are two things. One is the electronic media does not give you sufficient information. It gives you, at a glance, what a particular person wants to say about his or her own perspective. So the second thing is that electronic media kind of gives you only one perspective. The perspective that the person wants to share with you. Right? And there was this book called 1983 by George Orwell. And it talks of a world where propaganda or agenda of a particular person or government or somebody in power is so manifest that everybody within society thinks like him or her. Right? That's what we're going to become soon. An entire generation of people who allow somebody else to think for us. Somebody else to tell us what's right. Somebody else to tell us what news is. Somebody else to tell us. And then, because of AI, because of what's happening, it's very difficult to tell fake from real. It's very difficult to tell from what is somebody else's desire to kind of propagate to you from what is actual truth. Right? That is the third reason that books make sense. The fourth reason that books make sense is that you, when you read, can actually decide for yourself what you want to pick from it, because you're actually reading something which will be absorbed by you in the manner that you want to absorb it, not in the manner somebody else is presenting to you on a screen. Right? And possibly that's also the reason why I write. I've written ever since I learned how important words were. I must have been about 6, 7 or 8 when I started to write on scraps of paper, and it's not. In fact, I want to respond to a question somebody asked me a few months ago about why is it that you write? Power, money, fame. And I thought for myself, why do I write? Definitely not money, and because writing doesn't fetch you money. I mean, it's the publisher who makes the money. You get, I don't know, a paltry sum. I know Drishtikon, for example, another writer who literally, despite all the books he's written, lives from hand to mouth, you know, but is such an evolved man, great man. Fame, it comes in various forms. It may come, it may not come. Power, I don't know. Wasn't the IS very powerful? It never quite excited me for the power even then. But I'd like to say what I put down for myself when I thought about this deeply. And I wrote, why do I write? I asked myself this morning, it was actually this morning because it's something your principal asked me to say, why do I write? I actually send out words with the hope that they may resonate with someone unknown, unseen, somewhere. Maybe that's my own way of leaving behind a footprint in the sands of time. A footprint that's steadfast, like a citadel built with images from a palette of verbal hues and words that make one smile and bring smiles to the faces of strangers. Now, you really don't know who your reader is. You have no idea. But if what you've written can bring smiles to them, you kind of feel you've done your bit. And I think it's also a stress buster. I am meeting some of you later tomorrow. Those of you who are interested in creative writing. Well, all writing is creative. Anything that you do for yourself is creative. It's a creation. It's something that you've created yourself. But before I end, I will talk in detail about this later, but I do want to say something to the teachers and guardians who are sitting here, and adults who are still parents, those of us who will be parents. Again, something I wrote. Don't hold her back. I say her, but I mean him as well, a young boy. Don't hold her back, even for her sake. Unclip her wings. let her make mistakes. In possessing and loving, there's a very thin line. Of things and beings, the distinction is fine. Let her be herself. She learned to live and distill life's wisdom in her own crucible. Let her be herself. She learned to live and distill life's wisdom in her own crucible. And for you, my dear children, I want to leave behind a mantra which has been my guiding force all my life. It's not something I wrote, it's something written by Richard Bach, but I'd like to share it with you. It's been with me always. You're never given a dream without being given the ability to make it come true. I quote, you're never given a dream without being given the ability to make it come true. So as I end my speech, I just want to say, dream on. More wind to your wings. Just put foundations under those dreams, because you are the person, the only person who will decide and should decide the kind of life you will live. God bless.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us the lesson of dreaming, thinking, and more than anything, reading. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would humbly request, yes, ma'am. So we have Amar Kulwant ma'am, wife of our founder, chairman sir. She wants to share her views.
So sorry for this impromptu interruption. But today, because we are talking of the Lit Fest, let me just share what happened. My daughter and family are in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. And when I sent them the program, my elder granddaughter sent this message, which I thought is very pertinent, and I hope it will resonate with a lot of children here. She's about 27 now, working. So when I sent the program, she said, so lovely and well done. And then she said, I've been trying to get back into reading consistently in the evenings, remembering Nanaji and him always taking me to the school library to get books to read. That's when she visited us here. He would bring her to school and get her books to read. So the power of reading, which maybe started in her childhood, is coming back again. So read, dear children. It'll always pay dividends. She's getting back to it again. All the best to you.
Thank you, ma'am. That is always inspired us to read and read. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Ma'am Amar Kulwant Singh ji, Ma'am Aarti Gupta ma'am, Vice Chairperson Kendra Committee, Ma'am Manju Gupta ji, Senior IAS Officer Retired and the Member of Kendra Committee, Colonel D.S. Chima ji, Member Kendra Committee, and Madam Principal to felicitate the keynote speaker of the day, Ma'am Rajni Sekri Sibil. A huge round of applause, my dear students. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again, Rajni ma'am, for gracing us. Thank you. Abhivyakti, an e-treasure of creative expression, is a compilation of literary works of parents, students, teachers, and alumni. This e-magazine encompasses in itself a total of 85 literary works this year, with students, including alumni, sending 50 entries, parents 15 entries, and 20 entries by the teachers. So let me invite the arduous editorial team of Abhivyakti on stage. A huge round of applause. I invite Ma'am Mrs. Poonam Malhotra, Head of the Department of English and the co-convener. I invite Anupama Bhardwaj, the convener, Ms. Reema Sharma, the co-convener, and Ma'am Vandana Huda, the technical editor. A huge round of applause for the students editors. I now call upon Samaya Kaushik, Priyanti Chakravarti, Anuj Jain and Simrit Kaur. So we have the editorial team of Abhivyakti and E-Treasurer Creative Expression. I would like to request Vice Chairperson Ma'am Mrs. Aarti Gupta and Madam Principal to release E-Magazine Abhivyakti, a treasure of creative expression. A huge round of applause, my dear audience. The team has put efforts day in and day out for making this magazine a success. So that's the curtain raiser to Abhivyakti and E-Treasure of Creative Expression 2024. And this is a regular feature. We started last year when it was the first edition of Kulwant Singh Literary Fest, and this is the third edition of Abhivyakti. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, the team. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to acknowledge the creativity, imagination, and the power of words. Let's give a moment to applause for the brilliant young authors of our school. A whopping number of 40 have already got their books published under Bree Books. A huge round of applause. And 158 are in process of writing the books from classes 1 to 12. On screen, we have the brochure which gives us an insight of the Bree Books, and we also have the books displayed in the book exhibition outside. My request to the dignitaries to kindly visit the book fair and motivate these students and have a look at the books of these young authors. Dear audience, I would like to say that we'll be witnessing the budding authors speak, sharing their experiences and insight in this session, Baaton Baaton Mein Pens and Perspectives, post the session break. A huge round of applause for our young authors. Thank you so much. Every journey begins with a snapshot. Snapshot of a place, snapshot of a moment, or a fleeting feeling that lingers long after the journey ends. But when we capture the snapshots and put them in a script, it becomes a journey of lifetime, journey of faith, and journey of peace. And to listen to the Drishtikon, snapshots and scripts in the maiden session, we have amongst us the power couple, Mr. Ashok Lavasa and Ma'am Mrs. Lavasa, in conversation with Dr. Jyoti Singh. A huge round of applause, my dear students. Mr. Ashok Lavasa is the former Election Commissioner of India, belonging to the Haryana cadre. Sir is a prolific writer, having authored 3 books, several essays and articles for magazines and newspapers. Joining him is Ma'am Mrs. Lavasa, who is an accomplished professional with over 43 years of career spanning across various sectors like banking and finance. Ma'am is passionate about environment and is currently practicing organic farming and promoting sustainable agriculture practices. As a power couple, they love to travel and create memories by capturing the snapshots. So before we begin the session on stage, I would like to invite Ma'am Mrs. Lavasa on the podium and share a presentation of her journeys with all of us. A huge round of applause for Ma'am Mrs. Lavasa. Ma'am, please.
Mr. Kulwant Singh for having created the school, for having had the vision, and having been a leading light for so many of us. I also want to thank Mrs. Kulwant Singh. I don't want to go into what she is to me personally, but yes, she has been a friend, philosopher, role model to so many of us. So thank you very much for inviting me here, and the principal and the school for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences, which we have shared in the book. So this book has been a journey of self-exploration for us. This book is a major milestone of this journey, and it all began in Chandigarh, where we lived for 7 years, and Chandigarh has given us so much, and I hope that our sharing these experiences with you, the children will also make most of living in this beautiful Chandigarh, beautiful city. The geographical location of Chandigarh is conducive to a vibrant mind, a learning childhood, and I've been reading this quote since I've been sitting here. The only source of knowledge is experience. So the experiences that we had starting from when we lived in Chandigarh. In our hunger for adventure and our wanderlust, we discovered the path to be close to nature, to be one with humanity, and to be one with oneself. In the process, we had glimpses of spiritualism. The making of this book has been an adventure in itself. It was almost ready in 2010, but like all adventures, it has not seen the light of day since it was only published this year. This book is a compilation of our experiences as travelers and the stories of people, the tales we heard during those travels. I'll share a few glimpses in this presentation. This is Amarnath. This is where it all began. Even though we had been trekking for a few years when I went there, it was my journey to Amarnath where I went as a traveler and returned as a pilgrim. What struck me most was that this major center of Hindu pilgrimage was discovered by a Muslim shepherd. To this day, almost all people who facilitate this yatra are non-Hindus. The porter who went with us and who was there in the last leg of the journey with us said to me that "Aap jao aur Baba ko mera salam dena." I was amazed to see people of all ages and means going with the same zeal to be at this place, at this wonder of nature and the enchanting place. All bacche, boodhe, jawan usme chale ja rahe the, and they wanted to reach there, not like us who all are, who go with so many porters with proper shoes, proper jackets, proper sleeping bags, but it was the faith which was driving them. There were Babas distributing gyan and ganja, and there were people who were just doing the journey because they believed that this journey had to be done. Then I had a chance to go to, so this is the Chadar trek, which is done on the frozen Zanskar river. Zanskar, is in Ladakh, the Zanskar river, and you have similar formations like Shivji, Parvati and Lakshmi, the stalactites that are formed there, which I did this trek in 2018. But what left me thinking was this place, though similar to Amarnath, is not a revered spot. So these are the things that young minds need to think about, why people revere certain places and why they don't, or which are just associated with normal adventure. While most of our journeys, my husband Ashok and I have done together, but there have been some individual experiences also. here Ashok experienced what I experienced in Amarnath, and he's here taking a holy dip in that cold water of Hemkund Sahib. He was also moved by the mass of humanity who undertake that arduous journey. Churdhar is a peak very near Chandigarh. From here you get a 360-degree view of the area around. But it's about 5-6 hours drive from Chandigarh to Naurathar, and then you have to trek. But it's a particularly tough trek because it takes you from 6,500 feet to 9,500 feet without any resting place. The entire way is winding like a chuli. But we were surprised that when we reached there were thousands of people already there. That is because there was a mela revering Shivji, and those people were there for the gyan, for getting the blessings of Lord Shiva. But what stayed in my mind to this day is the spectacle of, when I got up at 4 in the morning and ventured out from my sleeping bag and my cozy place, was this view that the rising sun on one side and the setting moon on the other side, and how the barren rocks came alive with color as the sun fell on them, and the moon hid itself from us. We were fortunate to visit Kedarnath before and after the 2013 deluge. I think you kids are are much younger. Like this is 9 years back. I don't know if you all remember, but there are a lot of families who have suffered from this area also, who have suffered losses in the floods which hit this part of the country in 2013. And Kedarnath was one of the centers where major floods had come. So we had been there in 2006. Behind the temple was a memorial of Shankaracharya, who is supposed to have travelled all the 4 dhams through the high altitude mountains. He was responsible for uniting the Hindus of the country in those days. In the place of this monument, today stands a boulder which reportedly saved the temple from destruction caused by the 2016 deluge. You can see that orange, the arrow where the boulder is, which is supposed to have saved the temple. And now people revere this stone as a god which saved the temple. And you can see the orange arrow, that is the Shankaracharya temple, which used to stand behind the temple there. This is Gandhi Sarovar, which is much above Kedarnath temple. After an arduous trek of 2-3 hours, you reach this place. And this is called Gandhi Sarovar because Gandhiji's ashes, amongst other places, were also immersed here. And this is one of the embankments of this lake breached when the deluge happened in 2013. We have been to Gomukh. These are all references from the book, and when you see the book, I'm just giving you a glimpse of that. In 1992, my children were 6 and 7 years old then. I'm sharing all this, I'm telling you the ages because knowledge is experience, and we allowed our children to experience whatever they could, so that I want you all also to be experiencing things in life so that you can build all those experiences when you are ready to face the big bad world. This is the source of River Ganga, where drop by drop the glacier becomes the lifeline of millions of people. It was trained to go above Gomukh, over the glacier and lose rock and the ice and cover the steep distance of about 5 kilometers to reach a fascinating meadow called Tapovan. More fascinating than the landscape was an interesting lady called Mataji, whom we met there, who had already been staying there. This lady, Mataji, had already been staying there for 5-6 years, all 365 days of the year, at 14,500 feet. We've talked about her mysterious existence in the book. And from here you can see the Shivling Peak on one side and the Bhagirathi peaks on the other side. These are the Bhagirathi peaks, which I was just talking about. This is Spiti Valley. All monasteries have lamas who are trained for life in those monasteries. But here we found lady lamas being schooled for future. They are called chomus. Their learning was through recitation and rhythmic dancing, in which I also got to participate, and they reminded me of my residential school days when we had a lot of fun and all that. So you can see that they're all sitting like you play kho and all. That's how they recite their prayers and their lessons and teach each other. And I'm also amongst them. I don't know if you can spot me because fortunately or whatever, I'm wearing the same color. So. We saw similar chomus of different ages in Padam Valley. Those little children and this elderly lady, they are all from a monastery in Padam Valley. Padam is one of the remotest areas of our country, though now they are trying to make roads up to Padam. But those days it took us 2 days to drive from Srinagar. This is Bandhavgarh. We all know Bandhavgarh as a national park famous for its tigers. In our search for the big cat, what we found deep in the forest was Kabir Gufa, where Kabir is known to have spent many years of his life, and there is an annual Mela in the memory of Kabir. Also, there is this moss-colored Vishnu, which is about 1,000 years old. This was deep in the forest. This is Gurudongma in North Sikkim, bordering Tibet, in Gurudongma, where Guru Nanak Ji is supposed to have rested during his travels. When his disciples told him of their difficulties in drinking water in winters, he granted them this boon that a part of the lake never freezes. So you can see part of the lake which is not frozen. Guru Nanak Ji in these parts of the world is also believed to be an incarnation of the Buddha. Trees also, another thing we found in our travels, the tradition to revere trees, and trees are considered sacred in society. This root bridge is undoubtedly the lifeline of this place in Meghalaya, and stronger than any concrete or cement bridge. This board found in Parshuram temple associates a god with each species of trees, and the Kalpavriksha, which is associated, this Kalpavriksha in Joshimath, where Shankaracharya is supposed to have meditated, and this other tree in Kutch, which is like, every region has its own Kutch tree, own Kalpavriksha tree. So India is knit together through these tales, where people tell the tales, similar tales associated with that region. And the Bodhi tree, we all know about from Bodhgaya. Then this is near the source of the Kaveri is this elephant rescue center, where rope and destitute elephants are coached for the Dashera festival in Mysore. You get to feed the elephants here, and you get to bake them also. While Ashok was got to feed the elephants, I got to bake them, and in exchange for a scrub, the blessings that I've been given by the elephant there. So this is how we always, in our travels and whatever we did, we always were blessed in some way or the other. And there are a lot of interesting tales in the book which show how if you go out into the world, if you experience life, there's a lot of things to be blessed about. So more when we talk about it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, meeting us, this is making us feel deprived of the fact that you have traveled so much. But on the similar note, ma'am, you've given us a homework for winter vacation. So we might plan a travel to some place. Thank you, ma'am. It is now time to invite on stage moderator of the session, Dr. Jyoti Singh, Associate Professor at the Regional Institute of English, Chandigarh. With 32 years of teaching experience, ma'am heads the Extension Services and Personal Development. A mentor to many, she is an accomplished author and researcher with numerous publications to her credit. Ma'am, we welcome you. A huge round of applause for ma'am, my dear students. So ma'am is the moderator for this session, Drishtikon, Snapshots and Scripts. I would now humbly request the power couple on stage, Sir Ashok Lavasa and Ma'am Ms. Novel Lavasa. Though Ma'am has already given us a glimpse into her journeys, but we would like to know more from Ma'am. Ma'am, I've kept it over there. A huge round of applause, my dear students, for Sir Mr. Ashok Lavasa and Ma'am Novel Lavasa on stage. With her experience of travels to so many places, I am sure we are going to be enriched with all that they have to share with us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Jyoti, ma'am.
Good afternoon, but I'll say very good morning to all of you. What a beautiful way of starting this session, in conversation session with Mr. Lavasa and Ma'am Novel Lavasa. The pictures that she showed us were not just snapshots. They were visual stories. Each picture had a visual story. And we find these pictures in both of his books, An Ordinary Life as well as Echoes of Faith. Here he told the stories with the lens. Both the authors showed us or gave us the stories with the help of a lens, and in their books with the help of their words, they create a mesmerizing world. I want you all to join in to welcome Mr. Lavasa and Ma'am Novel Lavasa. We'll try to explore, as we sit in conversation with them, what made them share these stories with us, what inspired them, what influenced these travels, and the other book, That's an Ordinary Life, had on them. Long back, I would like to share this. I had read his other book, An Uncivil Servant, and I made notes. I took notes. We are meeting after around 18 years, I suppose. Yeah, we haven't met. And there was so much to take from it, and one thing that I applied in my life was, and in my child's life was, Chakki, Charkha, Ate Sarfa. And this is what I tell my trainers also, teachers also, that they should carry this legacy forward, because in some way it's going to help us remove all the ills from the society. Similarly, when I was going through these two books, I had so many questions. I was, in fact, doing an audit of my life as well. You'll be very surprised. Each page has something to give you. We'll share a few because in totality, in about 45 minutes, we can't do that. And I want you to enjoy when you read these books. First of all, I would like to ask them what inspired them to write or document these narratives.
Thank you, Jyoti. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, I want to thank the school, the principal, Madam Amar Kulwant Singh ji, for giving us this opportunity to say something to you and hear you and exchange our emotions, our experiences. I have had the opportunity of working with Mr. Kulwant Singh, both when I was a Deputy Commissioner and also in other capacities. And I have no hesitation in saying that apart from being a very efficient, competent civil servant, he was a fine human being. And both these books that Jyoti talked about, they are about how do you become a fine human being. Now, it is a very onerous kind of question, and if I am allowed to share, a few months ago, I went to the Delhi University to a college to give a talk. तो जैसे होता है कि during the talk and after the talk, there were many questions that were asked. After the session, when I came out, one student followed me and he said, "Sir, मैं आपसे एक चीज पूछना चाहता हूँ." अंदर मेरी हिम्मत नहीं हुई पूछने की, but ये जो आपने इतनी सारी चीजें हासिल की है जिंदगी में, you've been a civil servant, you work in the Asian Development Bank, you've been election commissioner, you've written books. How are you so humble? I got completely foxed. Well, how do I answer this question? So I thought for a while and I said, "Achhe insaan bano." Then he asked me a question which further confused me. He said, "Sir, wo kaise bante hain?" So it's not easy to answer that question. And one of the things which I felt and which I would like to share with you is from a story which is in this book called Echoes of Faith. There is a story, there is a place called Hanuman Chatti. जब आप जोशीमठ से और बद्रीनाथ जाएं तो एक जगह आती है हनुमान चट्टी. So the story associated with that place is that when Bhim was going to fetch a kamal which Draupadi wanted, तो जब वो जा रहे थे तो उनको रास्ते में एक बंदर बैठा हुआ मिला और उस बंदर की पूंछ उसके रास्ते में आ रही थी भीम के रास्ते में. तो भीम ने बड़े गुस्से से with lot of arrogance he said, "ए बंदर, ये पूंछ हटाओ." तो the Hanuman was the monkey god whom we call. He said कि भाई मैं तो बहुत बूढ़ा हूँ तो आप हटा दीजिए. And Bhim tried with all the strength that he had, and as all of us know that he was a very strong man, but he couldn't lift the tail. उसके बाद भीम को ये एहसास हुआ कि ये तो मेरे पिता हैं, हनुमान हैं, और उन्होंने भीम ने उनसे माफी मांगी और फिर वो मूंछ उनकी हटाई. The story is actually about shedding your arrogance. जब आप में अपना अहम बहुत ज़्यादा होता है और आप ये समझते हैं that I am the center of the universe और मेरे में सारी शक्ति और सारी काबिलियत है, तो आपको बहुत परेशानी होती है. The places that we have visited and which are explained, or the stories about these places which we have narrated in this book, some of them novel covered, is about how these places make you feel that you are a small, tiny dot in this universe. There are forces which are more powerful than you. There are things which you don't understand. और जहाँ आपकी समझ खत्म होती है, वहाँ पर आपका विश्वास शुरू होता है. So, none of these stories which are contained in this book may be historically accurate. That is not the purpose of writing this book. As I have said on many occasions, this book is not about religion. This book is not even a coffee table book, because books which are written about religion, they are very different. There is a tendency to preach and propagate. We don't do that. Coffee table books, on the other hand, have a different objective. This is not a coffee table book because it doesn't have glossy pictures. This is not even a travelogue, in the sense that we are not telling people that if you have to reach Gomok, then take this flight and reach there and take this train. No. So this book is neither a travelogue, not a travel book, not a coffee table book, not a book about religion. So what is it? And I've given a long answer, but in short, this book is an attempt to share with the people who read this book the several spots of time that we have experienced. अब spots of time क्या होता है? Spot of time, अंग्रेजी साहित्य में, in English literature, this is used mainly in the context of William Wordsworth, that these are moments which come back to you again and again and again to give you joy, to make you reflect, to think that you are indeed blessed in life because you went through these moments. So we have tried to present so many of these moments in this book.
So as Sir said, like when he traveled, he felt, he saw various places. How did they feel? So this book, in the very beginning says, travel makes one modest. You see what a tiny place you occupy in the world. So, with this journey starts. He shares his journey. And then when the reader is reading, the journey begins. The imagery, the kinetic imagery, the power of the words teleport us to that world. And simultaneously, as ma'am had said, Setri ma'am had said, there's no agenda, nothing. We read and we become thinking people. We are thinking and we are questioning. Both of them, Madam Lavasa and Sir, I felt, are master storytellers. Master storytellers par excellence. There is objectivity. The story is placed, given to you, very objective, but of course it's their experience which is subjective, but they're not there in the stories. They're there. We read the stories, we come to the end and we are musing, we have so many questions. Am I doing with my life I wanted to do? And in the end, in the last page, when you reach the cover, there is this question which we, pose ourselves. When we close the book, this question is there. Is faith born out of religion, or does it come from a sense of harmony with nature's elements? Because this book, talks about travel, spirituality, faith, okay, and of course it fosters, helps fostering, tolerance, understanding and harmony amongst these diverse communities. The same question I am posing to Sir. So this question.
So I'm not an expert on religion, so I cannot talk about it, and I don't even think that it is a subject which needs to be debated or discussed, because every person has his own belief, and this of course is a very personal choice. So this book, as I said, is not about religion. Whereas people have faith in several things, and faith is the foundation of religion, but it is possible for all of us to have faith in different things. I mean, a Sachin Tendulkar can have faith in his bat. Somebody else may have faith in the sun. Another person can have faith in any human being. So faith is something which is very fundamental to human nature, and I think it is very essential for survival. It is very important to have peace in life. If you don't have faith, if you don't trust anybody, then it is very difficult to be at peace with anything in life. So I think what we are talking about, and when we say faith has more to do with spirituality, and spirituality and religion are two different things. It is like spirituality is a quest. It is a continuous journey. Religion could be an intermediate destination. So you get stuck, you stay at one place. That could be religion. But spiritualism is a permanent journey which you undertake. And as it happens in life, you will all see, many of you might have experienced, the process of doing something. The journey that you undertake towards a destination, that actually becomes more enjoyable. That is a greater source of satisfaction than reaching the destination. In fact, oftentimes people feel, after achieving something, they feel, what next? So this question which continuously bothers us, what next? That is the source of curiosity, that is the source of enthusiasm in life. And faith, it can be even in yourself. You have a lot of faith in yourself. So what we are trying to say is that in this book, which we have jointly authored, we recount the stories of several places that we have been to. These places may not be very well known, but they are very powerful because a lot of people believe in these places. And Jyoti ji, if you permit, there is a little mention in this book at the beginning of the book कि एक आदमी हज करने गया, तो जब वो काबे के सामने, I'm sure all of you know what Kaaba is. It's a holy stone in Makkah. जब वो काबे के सामने खड़ा था तो उसकी मदर का फोन आया कि कैसे हो, ये अम्मी तबीयत खराब है, बुखार हो रहा है. तो the mother said कि अरे आप तो काबे के सामने खड़े हो, दुआ करो कि ठीक हो जाओगे. So he said नहीं अम्मी गंजे शकर बाबा से दुआ मांगो कि मैं ठीक हो जाऊं. Because Ganje Shakar Baba is a holy shrine of a Sufi saint near the place where they lived. So he had greater faith in that local shrine than in anything else. So the point that we are making is कि किस वजह से लोगों को किस चीज़ में विश्वास होता है, इसकी एक्सप्लेनेशन में, इसके लॉजिक में जाने की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है. ज़रूरत ये है कि लोगों को विश्वास है, and that is what keeps them going in life. That is a great source of tasalli in life.
His second book, An Ordinary Life, he weaves his father's experiences into the narrative of changing in India. So this is the story, the greatest tribute that he has given, or any son has given to his father. When you read, a very ordinary man, as perceived by the world, leads an extraordinary life. So I would like to ask Mr. Lavasa how his principles influenced his life and career, and if he would like the audience to take one idea from this book, what it would be.
So the book An Ordinary Life, in fact there is a very interesting quote there. I think that about sums up the entire book. But An Ordinary Life is inspired, it is about not one individual who happened to be my father. It is about the whole generation where they lived by a very different worldview. And I think, again, in that generation, goodness and trust was the hallmark of that generation. तो 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जो मैं आपसे शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि क्या ऐसी चीज़ें थी उनके बारे में जिससे मुझे लगा कि कुछ लिखना चाहिए. एक तो ये था कि his life was very ordinary. But I personally felt that he was an extraordinary person in the sense that all of you do get inspired by people who are close to you, people who you revere, and people who hold the family and the society together. ऐसे लोगों की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है अगर समाज को स्थिर रहना है, अगर इंसानियत को बचे रहना है. तो जैसे मैं कहता हूँ कि जब दूध में उफान आता है, I don't know how many of you know this, जब अगर आप गैस में दूध रखें और वो जो उबलता है, अगर उसको उफान को नीचे करना है तो क्या करते हैं? Somebody might say गैस बंद कर दीजिए, बट उससे भी एक बहुत आसान तरीका है, पानी के 2-3 छींटे उस दूध के अंदर डालिए तो वो बैठ जाता है. तो ये जो लोग थे, इनको छींटे डालना आता था. जब भी समस्याएं ऐसी हो जो लोग समझे कि अब हमारे काबू से बाहर है, तो दे वुड नो कैसे चीज़ों को शांत करना है, कैसे लाइफ को बैलेंस करना है. दूसरी एक चीज़ जो उन्होंने मुझे हमेशा याद रहती है, उन्होंने कहा कि भाई हमेशा अपनी कमर सीधी रखा करो. तो कमर सीधी रखने से 2 फायदे हैं. Your health is good and your honor is intact. That is number 2. Number 3 is that for him, duty was first. Everything else was secondary. What he thought was his duty, for that he would sacrifice everything and anything. A lot of people might not agree with this, but that's the way he was. Or since we are sitting in a school, so this is one thing which I want to share. He gave us a lot of freedom. Actually, the expression "gave us" is wrong because it would appear as if he controlled. He allowed us to do whatever we wanted, whatever choices we wanted to make. So one example that I want to give is, हमारे ज़माने में सारे अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स जो पढ़ाई में तेज थे, वो साइंस पढ़ते थे. और मेरा प्रमोशन भी साइंस में हुआ, but I wanted to take humanities. So he wrote a letter to the principal that this boy should be allowed to study humanities. And I ended up studying humanities. And I think I owe everything that I am to my study of humanities, and that is what makes my coming here so meaningful. That literature, the literary fest that we are doing, I think these occasions are very important in life because they ask you to reflect on so many things which are important in life. They are important for yourself. And I'll end by saying one thing, which is not which is not what happened in my case, but actually one of the parents of a classmate of mine, and Jyoti, this is important. वो हमारे स्कूल के फॉर्म में, हम 5वीं क्लास में स्कूल जाते थे, इट वाज अ बोर्डिंग स्कूल, तो पेरेंट्स को लिखना होता था, व्हाट डू यू वांट योर चाइल्ड टू बी और योर सन. इट वाज नॉट अ कोएड स्कूल, सो व्हाट डू यू वांट योर सन टू बी. एंड दिस मैन, ही रोट फॉर हिज सन that I want him to be a worthy human being. And I think that this is what we want. I think this is what we want more and more people to become. And I'm sure that events like this actually help you in becoming a good human being.
In one place you have already said he was a father unlike a father. And he's a foil to the present day society because he practiced minimalism, gratitude, and praised simplicity in every form. So these people like these are, to be emulated. So we need to follow them, of course, and their teachings. So I felt very enriched, sir. Over to ma'am.
as he said that to be a worthy human being. So I would, sorry, I was not able to answer the question why we decided to write this book. Through our travels, again, I stress on this that reading and writing becomes meaningful with experience. So when you have a lot of experiences, you are able to write about them also. So I had started after, because of my own experiences and the empowerment that it gave to me. Because before I started trekking and going out in nature, I was a very timid child. I could not even operate the mixie in the house because I was scared of the sound and the vibrations. So now, life is very different now. I can do many things in life. But I started adventure camps for women. Women plus 40 women, because I wanted them to be inculcate what I had got from life. And to 10 years forward, 20 years forward, what I want to share is how you become a worthy human being is, we have seen, and some of them, those incidents are mentioned in the book, that the places we've been to are littered with all plastics and waste. So what we do is we also help people who are all around, all the tourists or whoever they are, we pick up the waste from there. So this is one thing I want all children to inculcate, that let us clean our surroundings. Not just, we should not litter the place, but we should also encourage others not to please litter Mother Earth and choke Mother Earth's breathing with plastics. One. And secondly, that is how my journey towards organic farming has come about, because firstly, I think all of you must practice organic living, organic farming, organic eating, whatever you can. But, at one place, Yana, we had gone to, and we, just announced that let's all clean up the place, this place is not clean. And all the children, there were a lot of school children visiting, as you said, in the winter break, it was winter break, and they picked up all the waste. And I found children were also picking up the dry leaves. Children could not, class 7 and 8 type of children, 12, 13-year-old kids, they could not differentiate between what is actually choking the earth, like plastics, and dry leaves. Dry leaves are not waste. So this is my message to you as part of being good human beings, that you please inculcate these habits and spend some time in understanding that we should not litter our surroundings and make the environment clean. Thank you.
I would like to thank Mr. Ashok Lavasa and Ma'am Novel Lavasa for such an insightful session. I hope you all are going to make the most of it and of course read these 2 books that we discussed today. Thank you so much.
We can have, if audience, if there is any question, we can take up one question, because we should not miss this chance. Anyone having any question to be asked? Yes, I can see one hand being raised. Yes, Ishan, please pass on the mic quickly. It was really a delight, ma'am, listening to you, and our students are also curious. Yes, Ishan.
Namaste, ma'am and sir. I am Padam from class 10 Sundaram, and I had a question. Sir, what gave you the momentum to work towards sustainability and environment? Sorry for the delay.
Is that question to me or? Okay. So sustainability or environment, very burning topics today, and we can go on and on to talk at length about these things. So you would have heard, and I saw it written outside in your school also, reduce, recycle, etc. So there are 3 R's which are talked about, which will make our living habits, which will make the environment around us a little balanced. But I want to introduce a 4th R, and that is refuse. Now, what does it mean? It means that you should not have the temptation to have anything that you don't need. Lot of us consume or procure or buy things or possess things because we want to possess them, not because we need them. So अगर आप ये, I know it's a little difficult, and somebody might say that, you know, how can you expect people to be so abstemious or moderate in their living? But that is actually what will sustain the environment. ये जो greed और need की जो हमेशा बात होती है, इनमें फर्क है. और जैसे आप देखेंगे कि अगर आपकी अलमारी में 50 कमीजें हैं, तो एक कमीज की तो बेचारे की बारी 3 महीने में भी नहीं आती होगी. So why should you have so many things stacked in your house or stacked in your cupboard? Why should I consume more than what I need? Again, in this book, An Ordinary Life,
there's an example.
There are 2 examples that come to my mind. एक तो ये यहीं पंचकुला में पार्क जो है टोपियरी पार्क, तो उन दिनों when my father was alive and he used to live in sector 9, तो वो पार्क में सुबह घूमने जाते थे. तो उन दिनों एक नया हिंदी का अखबार शुरू हुआ था यहाँ पे, दैनिक भास्कर. तो वो फ्री में कॉपीज बांटते थे. तो when my mother and father were walking, somebody must have given a free copy to my mother and she carried it. So my father asked her कि तुमको ये पढ़ना है क्या? She said नहीं. He said, then why did you take it? And actually he made her go and return the paper to that person. So this is one. But इससे भी एक जो बुनियादी बात वो है किफ़ायत की. Now I don't know whether anybody in this audience, at least the children, even know the meaning of किफ़ायत. किफ़ायत क्या होती है? पहले बहुत सिखाते थे, और सिखाते भी ऐसे नहीं थे कि भाषण देके, जिंदगी में अपनी प्रैक्टिस करते थे. सो किफ़ायत क्या है? किफ़ायत का मतलब ये है कि जो चीज़ आप अचीव करना चाहते हैं वो कम से कम रिसोर्सेज यूज करके अचीव कर सकते हैं क्या? दैट इज किफ़ायत. इट डज नॉट मीन दैट यू डिनाई योरसेल्फ समथिंग. और इसका एक बहुत छोटा उदाहरण, कहानी जो हमने सुनी थी स्कूल में, कि जब गांधी जी फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल के लिए जगह जगह जाते थे चंदा इकट्ठा करने के लिए. सो ही वंस वेंट टू अ रिच बिजनेसमैन्स हाउस एंड शाम का वक्त था. ही एंटर्ड, ही वाज मेड टू सिट इन द ड्राइंग रूम. और जब वो बैठे थे वहाँ, और घर का जो ओनर था, जो सेठ था, वो तब तक वहाँ नहीं आया था, तो उन्होंने देखा कि एक मुलाजिम, एक वर्कर, वो आके और लालटेन जितनी कमरे में रखी थी उनको जला रहा था. तो उसने सारी लालटेन जला दी. इतने में वो बिजनेसमैन आया, और उसने आते ही सबसे पहले अपने घर पे जो काम करता था और जिसने लालटेन जलाई थी उसको डांटा कि ये क्या किया तुमने, 2 दिया सलाई लगाई है आज तुमने लालटेन जलाने के लिए, रोज तो तुम एक में जलाते. तो फिर खैर गांधी जी की और वो मुखातिब हुए और उनका बताइए बापू क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं आपके लिए. तो गांधी जी को एक बार तो ये लगा कि जो आदमी एक दिया सलाई के लिए इतना मीन मेक कर रहा है वो मुझे क्या देगा. खैर उन्होंने बताया, एंड दैट मैन एक्चुअली सेड कि हियर इज माय चेक, हियर इज माय सिग्नेचर, पुट एनी अमाउंट यू वांट. तब गांधी जी को लगा कि यार ये क्या है, एक दिया सलाई के लिए इतनी लड़ाई और ये इतना उदार है. तब उन्होंने उस आदमी को पूछा कि भाई हाउ डू यू एक्सप्लेन योर कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी बिहेवियर. तो उसने ये कहा कि जब एक दिया सलाई में रोज ये काम चलाता है, तो आज इसने एक तीली जाया की है, वेस्ट की है. एंड दैट इज आई थिंक द एसेंस ऑफ किफायत. सो माय बिलीफ इन सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज, यू नो, there are many studies. For example, when I was Secretary Environment, there was a study published कि अलग अलग कंट्रीज के लोगों की लाइफस्टाइल कैसी है। और उसमें जैसे उस स्टडी में आया, एंड वी एक्चुअली पब्लिश्ड अ बुक कॉल्ड कैपिटन अमेरिका, एंड दैट स्टडी रिवील्ड, इट वाज नॉट डन बाय अस, वी हैड ओनली कोटेड दैट स्टडी, that if every human being in the world starts leading the life of an average American, we will need 7 or 8 planets. So that lifestyle is something which we need to understand, that how much resource are we consuming which we can save. And my last point is कि देखिए, ये किफ़ायत या रिसोर्सेज को बचाने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपके कमी है इसलिए आप बचा रहे, कि पानी कम है इसलिए मुझे बचाना चाहिए, नहीं. दिस इज समथिंग which will show your respect for natural resources, and it will also show your regard for other human beings.
Thank you so much, sir, for concluding the maiden session of the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literary Fest on the note of sustainability and environment. I would like to take a moment to welcome Sir Shri Vivek Atray ji, former IAS officer, TEDx speaker, motivator, influencer. A huge round of applause for sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti Singh, for bringing light to this session by highlighting on such imperative issues of sustainability and environmental protection. Thank you so much. Even in one of the book launches of Sir had mentioned that nature is an ally. It's a force that is palpable. It's for us to understand. We need to pick what is best for the human race. A huge round of applause for our speakers. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to request Ma'am Amar Kulwant Singh ji and Ma'am Aarti Gupta ji to present a small token of our regard to Sir Ashok Lavasa. The energy is missing, my dear students. Ashok Lavasa, Ma'am Lavasa, and the moderator of the session, Ma'am Dr. Jyoti Singh. We thank the author couple, Mr. Ashok and Ms. Lavasa. I invite the moderator, Ma'am Dr. Jyoti Singh, to accept a small token of our regard. A huge round of applause, my dear students. We thank you, ma'am. It was really a delight to have you as a moderator for the maiden session of the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literary Fest. Thank you so much. Before we proceed for the tea break, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the resource persons for the workshops that will take place on different venues today as well as tomorrow. Though we've had some workshops in the previous 2 days as well, we have been joined by Ma'am Dr. Kulwant Singh, who is the professor and former head Department of Education in Art and Aesthetics at NCRT New Delhi. We welcome you, ma'am. Ma'am, please accept a small token of our regards. With a vast experience of 36 years as a teacher-educator, ma'am has brought creativity and innovative pedagogies in the regular teaching Ma'am has served as the project head of Art Integrated Learning of NCERT, and Ma'am will be sharing her expertise in a workshop based on aligning embroidery and social skills, which is an international project. She is also going to take a workshop on art as a medium of literary expressions today. A huge round of applause for Ma'am Dr. Pawan Sridhi. Dear audience, please acknowledge the presence of a renowned name across the region, artist and cartoonist from the Tribune, Mr. Sandeep Joshi. I invite you, sir, who will be teaching our students on the art of caricature making. A huge round of applause. Sir is a recipient of State Award by Punjab and Haryana government. The applause should not end. And by the Haryana Sahitya Academy. We have amongst us Mr. Hilde Prakash Kaushal, who is a renowned sculptor, scenographer, art photographer. I request you, sir, to accept a small token of our regard. I would like to mention that sir's work has been appreciated by President Ma'am Dr. Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Sir, we are truly proud. Thank you, sir. We have amongst us Hindi lecturer Dr. Arvind Kumar Dwivedi. Sir, I invite you once over here to accept a small token of felicitation and regard from our side. Sir is a poet and writer, critic and thinker. Sir is the president of Hindi Sahitya Bharatiya Chandigarh and Mantri of Bharatiya Shikshan. Sir will be taking a workshop on Vichar Se Lekin Tak. A huge round of applause, my dear students. We thank each one of us. Thank you, ma'am. We thank each one of us for being a part of the maiden session, the inauguration of the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literary Fest. And we are going to meet in 15 minutes from now for the sessions 2 and 3. Thank you so much with your presence. Thank you so much. We are making a part of the history of our school. With the belief and passion that every child should have a voice, the ability to write for enjoyment, we have curated a session of the young authors of our school, Baaton Baaton Mein, Pens and Perspectives. It is time to listen to them speak about their expectations, insights and experience. I would like to invite the moderator of the session on stage, Ma'am Miss Anupama Bhadwat. A huge round of applause for Ma'am, my dear audience. She is a teacher of English at our school and has been working and coordinating with the young authors. We welcome you, ma'am, and over to you.
How are you all feeling today? The world of words is a world of wonder and wisdom. We at Bhavans are thrilled to have you all join us on the journey of literary pursuits, endeavors and insights. I'm here to mediate a session of young pre-book writers, young Bhavanites. Please join your hands together for a grade 4 student. She's only 9 years old and her name is Ruhi. Ruhi, please come.
A huge round of applause for these pre-book authors, my dear students.
Next we have Harsahet. She's in grade 6.
The energy is missing. Hurry up. A huge round of applause to
Amrita Saugar. Most of you will be knowing her. I want you all to guess the names of the next two authors. Given the other name also starts with an A. You are very right. I know you all all know. Please welcome with a thunderous applause Arav and Atul. I would like to hear from these young authors what motivated them to write the book, the names of their books and the content inside it. Yes, Ruhi, we'll start with you.
I was motivated by my sister and my father. I got inspired by a lot of adventurous books and motivation.
First, you tell us what is the name of your book.
The name of my book is The Treasure Jungle Odyssey. It is an adventurous and motivational book. I got inspired by my sister and a lot of adventurous books that I read. My book is basically about three best friends that live in a village. They go to the jungle and they fight a lot of scary things, and then they finally reach a cave where they see a glowing genie, and they wished 3 wishes, and then they took the treasure back to their village. As they returned as heroes and everybody was proud of them.
Thank you, Ruhi. I know, secretly we all have this somewhere down the line. All of you in your ages, you must have thought of having a genie. Tell me if you have. Have you ever thought that it would be great if we would have a genie with us? Find out for yourself. Read this book that little Ruhi has written, The Treasure Jungle Odyssey. Talking about heroes, the next speaker on the panel, Anvita Sagar, the name of her book, incidentally, is Anvita?
Heroes Around Us.
Tell us about it.
Yes, ma'am. Namaste everyone. Today I, Anvita Sagar of class 7 Satyam, is present here to tell you about my newly launched book named Heroes Around Us. This book is all about the heroes that surround us. In this book, I have written that heroes are not who fight for the country, but real heroism is all inside us. The single parent, the nurse, the environmentalist, the entrepreneur, all are real heroes. In this book, I have also talked about the overcoming adversity, the unsung champions, and all about our surroundings, all about the heroes that surround us. In this book, I wrote this book with the help of my family members, my elder brother, my mother, and of course my father. The inspiration that I got to write this book was I read many books of William Shakespeare, and also a Hindi poet, Harivansh Rai Ji Bachchan. I love his poems and the way of expressing. This led me to write new books and with the help of pre-books. And at last I would conclude that the three golden rules, the three golden rules of writing can be read, write and repeat. The famous quote by Ernest Hemingway that I believe in is, as a writer you should not judge, you should understand. Thank you.
Wonderful, Anvita. I think Anvita deserves a huge round of applause. Now I would like to hear from Harsehaj.
Namaste everyone, I'm Harsehaj Wali of class 6 Sangam, and today I'm here to tell you about my book, The Mystery of Changi. So this book is all about a moon goddess named Changi and a little girl named Sophia. Sophia lost her mother but didn't lose her hope. Sophia's mother left behind some of her magical stories about Changi. You know, Sophia was so courageous that she had the guts to go to the moon and meet the moon goddess. You know, when Sophia would go to sleep, she would wave at the moon and her father would sing her poem, which I would like to share with you. I see the moon and the moon sees me. The moon sees somebody I want to see. God bless the moon and God bless me. God bless somebody whom I want to see.
Thank you so much, Harsahe. That was a wonderful piece of poetry. I'm sure you will all agree. Now we come to the most coveted speakers, grade 8 being the audiences here. Tell us, Arav, about your book. Arav incidentally writes with a pen name. So, is the title of your book or your pen name inspired by the Salman Khan starrer, or is it something else?
No, actually it is, I believe that the tiger is the only animal which is full of courage and determination, which is the same courage and determination which I required to write this book. And AK is for Arif Kumar, that's me. Now about the book, Life Chain Peace. So why the specific title? Because I believe at some times that we are facing difficulties at different stages and how to attain peace. So the book has the answer, and it also covers topic which we rarely focus on, like self-importance, self-love and struggles faced by students. Thank you.
Achal, moving on to you, a very cliche question I'm going to ask you. What inspired you? And incidentally, you have a very interesting name. The name of your book is extremely interesting. Is it about the road travel?
So, I would like to introduce my book, which is titled as Road Roaming. So, it's basically have a story of people on the road, like the old people and young couples, or we can say laborers and many others. And it also consists of their struggles which they face during their work time, and the inspiration behind my writing this book is the grandparents. As I go to meet them frequently, I observe the surroundings and the people on the road, and that's I mentioned in my book also.
Wonderful, thank you. Quickly, I would like to throw open the house for some questions. One or two questions from the audiences that we can take up. Please raise your hands if you want to ask them any questions. Ma'am, is there any question from the audience? Doesn't seem like so.
We have one.
We have one? Yes. To whom is your question directed, beta?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask a question to Achal Bhalla.
Yes, Achal. Please take the mic.
Everyone has thoughts, but not everyone can write them down. Expressing your thoughts in words is an art. Now that you have done it, how do you feel to have your ideas printed in a book?
Quickly, your concluding thoughts on the same. It's the same question that has been put to you.
Becoming an author at a young age gives us a feeling of inner satisfaction, and also gives us a feeling of achievement after writing a book, and it also gives us identity in front of everybody. That's all.
Thank you so much. I'm sure you must have felt very happy in the company of these budding authors. Please give them a huge round of applause. Is there any other question? Yes.
So my question goes to Achal. While writing a book, many topics or titles come into your mind. Specifically, why you chose the title Road Roaming for your book?
Achal seems to be very popular here. Yes, Achal? Yes, answer.
I have taken this title as
the title road roaming because whenever I go to meet my grandparents, I am observing the people on the road, as I mentioned in my intro also. I have just mentioned it.
Basically the observation and experiences into the book, right? So I think it is about time that we wind up this session. Any concluding thoughts? Any concluding thoughts, Harsahaj?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to thank Principal ma'am for giving me this opportunity to be on the stage here. And I would like to say to all of you present here that people are eager to read if authors are eager to write. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, authors. Please let us join the other Bree-book authors. I request the other Bree-book authors, there are nearly 15 to 20 of them, to please join us on stage.
Session, though it has already taken place. These are the young authors of our school who have published their books, and these all students are from classes 1 till 12, but we have been able to we just had a conversation with them, and they've shared their experiences, insights as to what inspired them on writing the Bree books. And dear audience, please acknowledge the presence of Sir Mr. Shekhar Chandra. Sir is the regional officer at CBSE. Sir, we welcome you to the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literary Fest.
We are extremely delighted to have all you distinguished dignitaries with us today. Particularly Mr. Shekhar Chandra, he is the Regional Officer, CBSE Panchkula. CBSE Panchkula Regional Office caters to schools in Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. It is the 4th largest region under CBSE with around 2,600 schools. Mr. Chandra, in his previous posting at Vijayawada, established a full-fledged regional office for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. He was also the Deputy Secretary, Professional Examination Unit, Assistant Secretary, CBSE, Regional Office Dehradun, and Nodal Officer for Teachers Training. He is also the in charge of CCE Mentoring, Monitoring Desk, and Foreign Affiliation Desk at CBSE Headquarters. Sir, we consider ourselves truly fortunate to have you here with us today. Can we please have a thunderous round of applause for welcoming Mr. Shekhar? It has been rightly said that the road to knowledge is paved with words. To be able to put right words at the right place in the right manner is the art of eloquence. I now request Sir Vivek Atray to please take up the stage and praise the stage, and please provide us some good insights on the fine art of eloquence. Please put your hands together to Mr. Vivek.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Students, my dear friends, I'm not naming anyone because there are so many dignitaries, so many students, not possible to name all of you. But just to say that the presence of dignitaries in the front row is a source of inspiration. And we were talking about role models during coffee, tea. I always say coffee, tea and not tea, coffee. and the preference is for coffee, but tea is also fine. But during the conversation, we're talking about role models. And in society today, we have a lot of models, not enough role models. I go to Elante Mall at times and other malls, not too many, but I go. And on the lighter side, when Mrs. Atray is shopping, then I am quite free to wait for her. And though she's not a great shopper, but whenever she is shopping, she takes quite some time. And I notice people. And when I notice people, I notice a lot of people looking very elegant, very graceful. And we notice people looking extremely impressive. We don't know whether the person standing in front of us in the queue is a CEO or he's a helper boy in a restaurant on a day out for vacation. Most people in society look very well turned out today. They're very, very smart, elegant. We welcome Mrs. Kulwant Singh. Please come, ma'am. Not at all. We need to be role models more than looking good. That is my point. So I wrote a piece, and this is a writing festival, a literary festival. So when I say the word piece, it doesn't mean a piece of cake. It doesn't mean a piece of anything else. It means a writing piece of 500 words, 700 words, 1000 words, could be 250. So let me come to the point. Firstly, let me say that the Kulwant Singh Literary Festival is very close to my heart. And because Mr. Kulwant Singh and Mrs. Kulwant Singh are very close to my heart. I've been here while Mr. Kulwant Singh was in our midst, in our presence. Let's have a warm round of applause for him and his memory, his distinguished leadership over the years, which has been really iconic. And this institution, we have been seeing it as a Panchkula resident, as an officer posted in Panchkula, as a speaker here now for many years. I have noticed this institution going from strength to strength. It is a matter of pride that Bhavan Vidyalaya is in Panchkula. So let's have a round of applause for Bhavan Vidyalaya now. I don't want to get into too many of these opening remarks. I'll come to the point. I am a speaker. Let me say that everybody here is a speaker. And when I resigned from service, they asked me, from the IAS I resigned. You'll ask me why I resigned later. But when I resigned, they said, why have you resigned? So one answer I gave them was because I became a speaker. Some people may resign because they become the speaker of the Vidhan Sabha or of the Lok Sabha, which is rare, of course. But I became a motivational speaker, which is a different kind of speaker. And it doesn't it doesn't give you a car or a battery of people or a role in the constitution. Becoming a speaker is a matter of choice for me, but each one of you in your own way are speakers. We are all communicators. In today's society, can anyone afford to not be a communicator? Even someone who doesn't have the faculty of speech for some unfortunate reason. And I have interviewed a mother whose child is afflicted. Even that person, that boy or girl or person is a communicator. We communicate with our body language, with our eyes, with our words, with our speech. But even above all this is vibration. What are the vibes? Vibes is a millennial word. When we were in school, we never heard of vibes. Hopefully front row. Please be with me. These kids have heard of vibes and they created the word. But basically vibes, if I understand it, means vibration. And the collection of vibes that a person has means aura. And aura is something which is what we exude even without speaking. So the first thing I want to say on the power of eloquence, which is my topic, is that your aura speaks before you do. Before you speak, your aura introduces you. And what is your aura? Aura is a very strange word. In Hindi we say aur. Aur and aura, they seem similar. But what is the Ghalib Sher? कहते हैं कि गालिब का है अंदाज़ बयां और. That aura which leads to such a statement about Ghalib, who was the most erudite expressionist poet, is what we need to try and aspire for. So let me walk around now, because this is a workshop, not a formal keynote address, and I'll try and engage more with the audience. Does everyone have an aura? Yes. Let's say we could measure an aura. 1 to 10. A scale of 1 to 10. Okay? So let's give a score to some celebrities. We're not making fun of anyone here. We're just giving a score of aura to celebrities who we know very well. Okay, 1 to 10, and 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, and 0 is not allowed. Okay? Who has an, okay, how much would you say the aura of Sachin Tendulkar is out of 10? Okay, 10 is not allowed. His number is 10. But 10 is not allowed either. So 9, let's say 9. I'll tell you why 10 is not allowed. I'll tell you why. I know this is the era of getting 10 out of 10 marks. 100 out of 100, right? But 10 in my scale is not allowed. Nobody is perfect. Anybody in this hall who's perfect, raise your hands. Oh, good. I am always scared of this millennial who's going to raise a hand when I ask this question. And they're going to say, but then if I ask you the capital of Ethiopia, then maybe your perfection will suffer. Addis Ababa? Okay, if I ask you the capital of Luxembourg? Okay, then I ask you the capital of Kerala? Okay, then if I ask you the spellings of Lamborghini? Okay, you're all very eloquent and you're all perfect. But Sachin Tendulkar gets 9. Or what about Donald Trump? No, 0 is not allowed. 0 is not allowed. 0 is not allowed. 1, I will give 2. I'll give 2. That's my opinion. Yours might be 5. Okay? Okay, now Virat Kohli. Okay, 10, but 9. Okay, 9. What about Bumrah? What about Ranveer Singh? The girls are giving him more marks than the boys. Okay, now we have a hushed silence in the hall. Last row, raise your hands. Okay, no more noise, no more sounds. We all understood what we mean by aura. Now if I walk into the hall, I carry with me a certain aura. If you walk into the hall, you carry with you a certain aura. Your eloquence depends not on what you say and how you say it, as much as how you are. So what you are is more important than what you say. What are you, by the way? Everybody human? Any non-humans, raise your hands. Again, I'm very scared. Sir, I am D232. I am born out of a chip. Possible. I am also an electronics engineer. Possible. Possible. Okay. So we all develop our aura, cultivate our aura, and try to make it better. How do we do that? What do you think makes a person have a better aura? It's not the looks. It's not the achievements. It is your mind. It is how you think. How you think is what you are. Your thoughts are what you are. If I'm, use a little bad word, if I'm bitching about people, if I'm criticizing people all the time, then my aura will go negative. Unfortunately, politicians have to criticize others. Huh? So I don't blame Donald Trump for having a low aura in my opinion. But Obama has a higher aura than Trump, despite being a politician. And he criticizes others as well. So it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of mind. It's a matter of thoughts. So are my thoughts always complaining kinds of thoughts? Then my eloquence will also be limited. My aura will be limited. My impact on others is limited. If I am always complaining and criticizing others, then I am not really evolving as a human being. There are people who are professional complainants in the world, and some of us know them very well. But then, we can't be like that. Arnab Goswami is paid to be what he is. Okay? So when I show my PPT, I do show at times Arnab Goswami's glum face. He chooses to be like that. I am not an admirer, but that's his profession. Okay. Now once the aura is established, somebody's walked into the hall or into the room or into a conversation. How does he or she open his remarks? You're on stage as a speaker. What do you say to start off? Now I started off with some icebreakers before ma'am came, before we were just talking about other things. So it's always good to start with some new word for you. Who will tell me the meaning of banter? B-A-N-T-E-R. Yeah, tell me the meaning.
Banter means to have gossip.
Not necessarily gossip. I'm not an English literature student, but I think it means conversation. It means small talk. You know, just parlays. Right? It need not be gossip. But yes, it is something to do with opening up with someone. It could also be between friends. So initially when you start a speech, supposing you're on the stage over here, it's good to start with some light comments. We started talking about the school, we started talking about Mr. Kulwant Singh. We were paying tribute to him. So it's good to start off with some formal comments. The power of eloquence also depends on your content. What are you saying? Have you thought about what you're going to say? In a conversation at home, we don't really think before speaking. My mother is there, my sister is there, my brother is there. I can be myself. I don't need to be formal. I'm very eloquent. I can just be myself. But when I come to school, I become different, slightly. When I'm with my friends, I'm at ease. When I'm with ma'am or in the class, I'm a bit formal. When I'm on stage, should I become someone else or be myself? Who is going to answer this? Should I be someone else or should I be myself? Yeah.
So you should be yourself.
And you? You should be yourself. So you should be yourself, but one tip I can give you, you can be a high energy version of yourself. When you are on stage, you cannot be low energy. Otherwise everybody will go to, I won't allow anyone in this hall to go to sleep. No one will go to sleep while I am here. The point is that it is my energy which should translate to you. And I can be myself. I don't need to be Amitabh Bachchan. But I can be a higher energy version of what I am. So bring your best energy there. Have some content ready. Start off with some opening remarks. And then you're into your speech. First we'll talk about speeches, then we'll come to conversations. Okay? Now in a speech, what is the structure of a speech? Who will tell me that? The broad structure of a speech. Yeah? Yeah, go ahead. Yes?
So the speech has three main parts. So in the beginning, you start with a formal greeting or you start with an anecdote. In the middle part of the speech, you highlight on what you want to talk about and you elaborate on it. And in the conclusive part of the speech, you end the speech with a formal remark. Or if you are discussing on a problem, the conclusion will have the solution, your preferred solution to the issue.
What's your name? Savya Bhatia. I thought he's saying sir something. Savya Bhatia. Round of applause for Savya. So Savya is absolutely right. You have an opening, you have a middle, and you have the closing, of course. But he also elaborated upon how it should be done. I'll add a few points. You need to have in that middle, you need to be structured. You can't start with one topic, go to another and come back to the first topic again. There has to be a flow. The river has to flow. So you talk about, let's say I'm talking about public speaking on stage, then I come to public eloquence in conversation. I can't go back to public speaking on stage unless I have a closing remark. Alright? So you flow. The content flows from one point to another point to another point. What about examples and anecdotes you mentioned? Should they be rehearsed or non-rehearsed? Should I know which anecdotes I'm going to tell you today, or do I not need to know? Can they come from the spur of the moment? Who will answer that? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sir, I believe that anecdotes and examples should be kept in mind before going for the speech, so they should be rehearsed.
And if you think of something on the spur of the moment, then it should not be told because it wasn't rehearsed.
Sir, but if I think of something on the spur of the moment, I will probably get an example also at the spur of the moment. But I will try to avoid the topic because I haven't well reversed about it.
So I think it's a good answer. What's your name?
Sir Shivansh Bhatia.
Don't say sir, otherwise I get confused. Okay? I think your name is Sir Shivansh Bhatia.
No, sir.
Shivansh Bhatia. All right. That guy was also Bhatia. Sorry, that person was also Bhatia, right?
Yes.
All right. So, so the point is that he's absolutely right. Because we rehearse some of the anecdotes, we know which ones we're going to say. But if something comes on the spur of the moment, you say it, if it's relevant. Till now, I haven't told you even one anecdote which I've rehearsed. I haven't told you any anecdotes anyway. I've maybe mentioned Donald Trump, this, that, on the spur of the moment. Now, let me tell you an anecdote which I thought I'll tell you about. And one homework which you have later, which we're not showing right now, but go home and watch this speech. Do you have your notebooks here? Or we'll share the name with you. The name is Dhananjaya Hetiyarachi. A little difficult? Dhananjaya Hetiyarachi. Dhananjaya Hetiyarachi won the world's best speaker award in 2018 or 14, I don't remember. Dhananjaya Hetiyarachi won the Toastmasters Best Orator Award. Toastmasters is a public speaking organization. If any of you want to join a Toastmasters, you can join online. Otherwise, there are physical clubs as well, like Rotary clubs. They meet and they discuss public speaking skills. Dhananjaya Hetiyarachi's speech, according to me, in 7.5 minutes, is the perfect speech. So you watch that. Perfect in every way. Opening, closing, anecdotes, humor, empathy, examples. Which brings me to the next point. Whatever your content, whatever your structure, always connect with the audience. If I am giving a speech to school students, of course we have dignitaries in the front row, but my speech is not for the front row. The speech is for the students. And I have to then talk to you, empathizing with you. I cannot give the same speech to University Business School where I'm going at 3 p.m. or rather 2:15 p.m. today. I have to give them another speech. My speech has to be tailored according to the audience. And I have to connect with the audience through examples. So my next example, okay, I'll give you one anecdote which I rehearsed. I was in class 9. Once I was also in class 9, okay? All of us here were in class 9 once. All of us here. And when I came from a Delhi school to a Chandigarh school, I was a little, uncomfortable. Firstly, my Delhi school was co-ed and the Chandigarh school was a boys' school. So I was not very happy about that, even though I was only in class 9. But the point was that these class 9 boys in my school were a little bullying kinds, and I was tall but I was thin, and I'm still thin. But I was tall and thin, and they were tall and hefty, and I was bullied around a little bit. I was not very comfortable for the first 1 month. And then Brother Murray was teaching. This is St. John's School I was in. And Brother Murray was teaching on the blackboard, and he would write with a chalk. For hours the whole class he was writing. And he would write and write with this cursive handwriting and beautiful handwriting, and he would rub it off immediately. I would feel pain in my heart when he would rub it off, because it was so beautifully done. Today we can take a picture of the board, or we can use a smart board, but in those days it didn't happen. So Brother Murray was an impressive, hard-working, stern. What does stern mean? Strict teacher. And he asked a question after 1 month of my presence in that school, in class 9, and nobody knew the answer except me, just by chance. I raised my hand, and he said it begins with an O. I said, sir, it is offing. In the offing, something is in the offing means something is going to happen. Right? So after this session, another session is in the, and lunch is also in the offing at some point of time. I said offing. Brother Murray in front of 50 boys said, good boy, to me. And I became a very confident person in that moment. And I never forgot it. So let's clap for Brother Murray. Yeah? Louder, louder, louder. Because teachers can make or break the morale of a student. Maybe not the qualities always, but the morale definitely can go up or down based on what a teacher says or does. A critical remark can also pain and hurt a lot and stay with that student forever. So when this anecdote I'm telling you because that confidence to speak in class, which was not there for a month because I was uncomfortable, it came. When I said that one word in front of so many people and he said, good boy, my confidence went up. So when you're speaking, you have to speak from the heart. It has to go to the heart. If you speak from the heart, it goes to the heart. If you're speaking superficially, upar se, it doesn't make inroads into the heart. Okay? Now, what about humor? Should we have humor in a speech? Not only stand-up comedians. Everybody should have humor in their speech. Unless you are speaking at a sad event. Right? Somebody lost his life, you're speaking at the prayer meeting, obviously you won't have humor in that speech. But now let me tell you a humorous one. Just to illustrate storytelling. Storytelling is not the topic of this session, but storytelling is definitely a part of Power of Eloquence. Okay? I told you a story just now, now I'll tell you another one. This is fictitious. Not fictitious, fictional. There's a difference between the two. मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं आती, मैं तो इंजीनियरिंग का स्टूडेंट हूँ, बट फिक्शनल और फिक्टिशियस में थोड़ा डिफरेंट होता है. Okay? There were two brothers in a town and both of them were, new word, both of them were rogues. पता है आपको? Rogues means badmash. They were bad guys. In a small town and they would bully people, they would carry out dacoities, thefts, they would intimidate people, they were criminals. And the local police could not do anything much about them. And these two brothers were very ill reputed, but everybody was very scared of them. One of these brothers, unfortunately, lost his life. And the other brother goes to the only priest in the town to say, priest, please come and say the prayers at my brother's funeral ceremony on such and such date. And the priest says, no, I won't come. Your brother was a terrible fellow. He tortured people, he scared people out of hell, and he was very, very difficult as a person and a very bad man. I won't come. So this brother keeps pleading with the priest, trying to convince him. But this priest did not agree. And then the priest was threatened by this brother, this man, if you don't come, I'm going to kill you. And the priest says, I won't come, you kill me. He says, then I'm going to kidnap your family. And then he relented. He says, okay, I'll come. You're a very bad guy. You've forced me into this, I'll come. And this brother says, okay, I have one more request now. He says, you have to come and say the prayers, and you also have to say that this man who lies here was a saint. Now this is one thing to come at the funeral and say the prayers. The other is to praise him and say that the person who passed away was a saint. That is a lie. Why will the priest tell a lie? The priest says, I don't lie. I will say the prayers for him. Every soul deserves, prayers, and I will come. But this man keeps forcing him again, threatens the priest again. You have to call him a saint. And somehow the priest says, okay, I'll do something. Now the funeral ceremony is taking place, and the priest is saying the prayers. Everybody is gathered. Maybe 100 people are there. वो भी सब पकड़ के लाए वहाँ ज़बरदस्ती. Otherwise 100 people won't come. And these 100 people are listening to the priest saying the prayers. And this brother is, giving him that look that you have to say, saint. Don't forget that. And he's also showing him the gun in his pocket. And the priest says, here lies the worst man I ever knew. Terrible fellow. Threatened the whole village, town. Created difficult times for all of us. And he was so bad, he was terrible, he was really bad. But compared to his brother who's standing over there, he was a saint. Compared to his brother who was standing over there now, he was a saint. So the priest had brains. Now what did I do right now? I told a story. It's not the content. It is the manner of speaking. So you have to tell stories which retain the grip. I'll tell you one more before I close in a while. But we need to retain the grip of the audience. You need to have a hold over the room. The eloquence of a person should come from the heart and come from content and come from preparation, but also come from instinct. And all these words that I'm using, where do you think they came from? I didn't invent them. Mr. Tharoor claims to have invented the word prepone. He said prepone koi word nahi hota tha, it was advanced. In 1970 something I created the word prepone. I believe him because nobody has contradicted it. Except that in the Oxford Dictionary or something there was this word which is similar to prepone 100 years ago. But Mr. Tharoor says he created this word. But I am not creating any new words. Where have they come from? How can you be eloquent without reading? This is a literary festival. The only way to be eloquent is to read more. Read more books. Then you understand how to utilize those new words which you heard in your sentences, in your speech, in your words. Yeah? One thing is to know the meaning of a word. The other thing is to utilize that word in your conversations. Yeah? Agreed? Okay, who's going to, let's have a mini competition for the most difficult word that you know. Who can tell me the most difficult word that you know? Raise your hand and tell me that word. And then you have to tell me what it means also. Yeah, what's your name? First tell me your name loudly. Viraj. So what's the word? And what does it mean? Huh? You're still saying the word or you started saying something else? Oh, it's a lung disease. Well done, Viraj. Yes. It's the fear of long words. That's a good one. Alright, I like both of them. Okay, I'm not talking about long words necessarily, I'm talking about difficult words. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Somebody raise their hand in the first 3-4 rows here. Yeah, go ahead.
Xenophobia.
Okay, what does it mean?
Fear of phones.
Does it begin with Z or X?
X.
Which class are you in?
5th.
5th? What's your name?
Aditya Singh.
Good, Aditya Singh. So let's clap for all 3 of them. See, we're talking about words here, but one tip I can give you right here. Difficult words do not make a better speech. Necessarily. It doesn't mean that you're a great speaker if you know all the words in the dictionary. It is how you express. You've seen those reels of the UP wala boy, 14-year-old influencer in COVID times, or a girl, 14, 15, doesn't know much language, but is a very powerful speaker. So words are not necessarily going to make you a better speaker. That means difficult words. But you have to be a good communicator. Use the right word. So one little story on this with my favorite Mr. Tharoor. So a person went to him and said, Sir, you are the MP of our district in Kerala and please help me, I need financial aid. So Mr. Tharoor told him, no, I can't give you financial aid, it's very difficult. Otherwise let me see what I can do. He was very nice, sympathetic. So this person came out, his friend asked him, he says, so did he help you financially? He said, no, he didn't help me financially. But when I went inside to meet him, I was poor. When I came out, I know now that I am impecunious. I'm not poor, I am impecunious. So the description has changed, but the financial status has not changed. The point is that these words don't really mean anything. The thing is to use them in the right manner, I'm a writer. Abhi we're talking about speaking skills. But as a writer also, you are more expressive if you use the right word. And some words, they cannot have synonyms, which are perfect. In that situation, only that word will do well. You can look up all the synonyms in the world. Even Chetan Bhagat came to Jaipur Lit Fest and he says, I don't know how to write well. He admitted. He joked about himself. He says, I don't know why they called me into a literary fest. I'm not a literary writer. He says, उसमें क्या है वो तो right click करो तो 5 synonyms आ जाते हैं. But that's not the way to write. The words should not come from the dictionary. They have to come from the vocabulary, from the heart, from what you are, from what you know, from what you have read. So read at least 10 books in the next 1 year. At least 1 book per month if possible. Okay? Apart from studies, I know these kids are toppers, they are hardworking, they are sports persons, they are artists, they are whatever. But reading books is essential. And I know that your school emphasizes that. We've had this discussion. And that's why this literature festival is a great occasion. So I come to the second part of my talk. What is the time now? 1:35. So in another 7 or 8 minutes I'll close this and then we can have a Q&A. Is that okay? Alright? What about conversation skills? I wanted to save this part for conversation skills. You are in a generation of texting. And my daughter is Kavya. Spriha and Kavya, 2 daughters. And when I say to Kavya, what are you doing? She says, Papa, I'm talking to someone. I said, I can't hear you talking. She says, no, I'm texting, I'm chatting. I said, that's not talking. No, Papa, it's talking. I said, talking used to be talking and listening. She says, no, WhatsApp talking is, chatting is known as talking. I said, okay, if you say so, I agree. But the point is that until we speak and listen, we are not human beings. We are not automatons. We are people. People need to engage. They need to talk. They need to listen. They need to empathize with others. They need to be empathized with by others. Understand? Conversation is the way that human beings grow. They share their pain and their laughter and their happiness and their sorrows. Unless you talk to someone about your worries, you will keep, the worries will keep accumulating. So when you express, how many of you do journaling? Raise your hands. Journaling. You can share here, no problem. Koi ghabrane ki baat nahi. Good, very good, excellent. Journaling, which means we used to write a diary. Journaling is what, you can put your hand down now. So journaling, see, I'm not a school teacher, so I don't know that I have to tell you to put your hand down also. Okay? School teachers know that. I only know how to ask questions. The thing is that journaling is expression. You are writing a diary. You felt pain, you felt happiness, you wrote about it. You expressed your heart's feelings. You tear it up later. Writing therapy also is about expressing, tearing it up if you want. But if you want to preserve it, go ahead. Nobody is going to get after you for having written something like that. The thing is, conversations do the same thing. Similar. So when you talk to a friend about your worst fears, the friend who is a good friend will listen. Your sister, brother will listen. Your parents should listen. I'm adding the word should for parents, which parents know. They should listen to you and you should listen to them. Conversations are required. Eloquent conversation means where you are able to say what you wanted to say in the manner you wanted to say it. So express your heartfelt thoughts to someone. Then you lighten, because I'm also a motivational speaker and I worry about your mindsets, that's why I'm adding this point. Right? Because you're not talking enough. Okay, how do you have a conversation with someone you never met before? Who's going to tell me the structure of a conversation with somebody you never met before but now you have to meet? Raise your hand if you can tell me. Shravya knows the answer. That's Shravya over there? Okay, good. See, I know your name. My brain is ticking. I remember the names. Alright. Yeah, what's your name? Anika. A-N-I-K. C-A. That's American. Alright, Anika. Go ahead.
So, I think when we start a conversation between a person whom we have never met, we should start it with a formal way and some interesting ideas which can help us get...
I'll repeat what she's saying. Listen this way, okay?
Get more engaged and be free to speak with the person, and it would also help us to know the person better if we talk with them in a...
Yeah, go ahead.
In which we can engage our thoughts, ideas and our emotions all together.
Very well said, Anika. Round of applause for Anika. See, I've been to your school before, I've been to this auditorium before, we've had other different topics. I always find your students to be very participative. It's very good that you're speaking like this from the audience. It's great. I'm very impressed with you all already. Today I'll be more impressed with your eloquence. So she's absolutely right. You need some icebreakers when you meet a new person. Supposing somebody from Finland comes here. Finland is my favorite country. It's the happiest country in the world.
Yes.
Something is there. No?
It's highest.
Highest happiness index. Somebody from Finland comes here, doesn't know what the meaning of Bhavan Vidyalaya is. Doesn't understand the culture over here.
They have come.
Yeah, they have come. Okay, Finland. Then let's take another one. New Zealand. New Zealand, let's say. Somebody from New Zealand comes here for the first time. We need to make that person feel comfortable. And my eloquence is to tell that person about my school and my country in as brief a manner as possible, but as complete a manner as possible. He has come to me, I have not gone to him. If I go to New Zealand, he should tell me about his country a little more. But I can also go and tell him about India from there. So my eloquence is about talking and listening both. Part of eloquence, and listen to this statement very carefully, part of my being eloquent is my listening skill. If I am not a good listener, I cannot understand the other person, I am not a good speaker also. Listening skills are very important in a conversation. In a conversation, we should stick to the person's area of interest. If I start saying, oh, in 2002 I was posted there and this and that, and it's not interesting. It is interesting only if I am empathizing with that person and speaking in context. Eloquence which is out of context, out of syllabus, is not valid. I start telling you about R. Ashwin, why has he resigned, and go into detail for the next 12 minutes about Ashwin's career in this hall, right now. Not relevant. On my cricket group, Colonel Chima knows I would do that. But not here. So my eloquence has to be relevant, pertinent. Shashi Tharoor ka word hai, pertinent. It has to be contextual to the context. Okay? So, also conversation is at least 50-50. Listening and speaking should be. Unless you are giving a scolding to your student, or the student is giving a scolding to the junior student, then it is only one-way traffic. Achha, by the way, should we scold someone in front of others? Good boy to theek hai in class, but when you scold, but let's not talk about classrooms. Let's talk about home or office. A boss scolding a junior in front of the junior of that junior. Very, very low emotional intelligence. We were talking about it. So, let me sum up what I've been saying. Eloquence is aura, eloquence is your words, eloquence is your body language. We didn't talk much about body language, but body language also depends on your mindset. If your thoughts are in order, if your thoughts are confident, if your thoughts are structured, clear, then your body language also becomes quite confident. Some people, they have tendencies, some students have, don't feel shy about this, I'm just telling you. Some people have sweaty hands, some people have the tendency to shake their knees while sitting, some people have the tendency to keep scratching their nose or touching their nose. It is because the mind needs a little more confidence. So your personality improves when your mind becomes clearer, your whole communication is better. So in a conversation, your aura, your vibe, what you're thinking, what you're saying, the manner in which you're speaking, the way in which you're addressing the people, the way you are listening, and humor, all these matter. Right? So let me close with a humorous one. I think you've all heard Pedrevsky and Einstein from me before. How many of you have heard Einstein driver story from me? Or from anyone? Einstein driver? Okay, only 3. Alright, Pedrevsky and the piano player. How many of you heard that story? Nobody. Alright. Oh, one at the last row. Why are you sitting in the last row? You heard the story of Pedrevsky and the piano player. You're sitting in the last row. Backbench is the best. Alright. So let me tell you Pedrevsky and the piano player. Okay? And then we close. And this is also, see, Power of Eloquence, I've given you some facts. But I'm hoping that I have been able to prove the example of what I'm saying. You got the point? If I am being eloquent in the right manner with you, then the power of eloquence is covered. The topic is covered. So Pedrevsky and the piano player, I close with this story. Alright? How many of you are into music? Raise your hands. Music? Very good. I see some smiles also. They're very happy that I asked them this question. Put your hands down now. I have to become a school teacher. Come on, put your hands down. Okay. There was a piano player named Mr. Pedrevsky. Poland's names are the most difficult in the whole world, apart from Indian names. And who knows the Polish football team? Very good. Tell me one player. कोई पता है और सेकंड बताओ कोई हाँ Zelensky is the president of Ukraine, no? Huh? Okay, you know them. All right. Don't get excited. We're not on football at the moment. One day I'll talk about sports with you. One day I'll talk to them about sports. I love that. Okay. Now listen. Pedrevsky was an easy enough name, but next time you want to change your password, please keep a Polish surname. It's a good password to have. But don't forget the name yourself. This is more for the front row. Okay. Now, Pedrevsky was to play the piano on the stage, and a hall was 500 people were sitting in the hall. The piano was there, the stage was set, the curtain was still closed. A 5-year-old child accompanied by the mother, obviously the mother brings the 5-year-old child into the hall. And there are only 2 seats vacant, and she goes and sits down quietly in that seat. And 12-year-old children and above are allowed, 5-year-olds are not allowed. But this mother doesn't want to miss the concert, and she can't leave her 5-year-old at home, so she brings the child and sits down quietly in a corner. In Poland, there is only one usher at the gate. In India, we have, अभी तो मैम भी खड़े हैं, 2 लोग और खड़े हैं, उधर भी कुछ लोग खड़े हैं, उधर भी खड़े हैं, बाहर भी खड़े हैं. तो पोलैंड में एक ही होता है बंदा, हाँ, वो भी इधर उधर होगा. So she came inside with the 5-year-old. Now the curtain is still closed. The mother is waiting. Everybody is waiting for the concert to begin, and she sees she spots her friend sitting 2 rows ahead. Chandigarh में भी होता है. We see a friend sitting 2 rows ahead. Now she cannot resist saying hello to the friend. She tells the 5-year-old, sit quietly, I'll go and meet my friend and come back. And she goes to meet her friend, and the 5-year-old runs away. When you were 5, you were naughty, I hope. Abhi bhi ho. Tab kam the, tab zyada the. 5-year-old naughty boy runs. Ab zyada ho gaye. Ab hum bhi hain. 5 mein hum bhi naughty the. This child runs away and goes to a board which says no entry and goes inside. Obviously no entry ka matlab entry. So he goes inside and finds himself on the stage. The mother is still talking to the friend. He finds himself on the stage with the piano. And he's naughty. What will he do? He doesn't want to listen to Mr. Pedrevsky's concert. He doesn't know who is Pedrevsky. He wants to play the piano. He starts banging the keys of the piano. And everybody can hear now a sound coming out from behind a noise coming out from behind the curtain. Because the child doesn't know how to play. He's just banging the keys. Now 3 things happen at the same time. The mother comes back to the seat, the curtain opens, and Mr. Pedrevsky walks onto the stage. The mother's heart is palpitating because she finds the child is gone. She thinks we'll be thrown out. Now she turns around and finds my child is playing the piano on the stage. She thinks she's going to be arrested now. Now the child is not bothered. He is just intent on playing the piano. Bang, bang, bang. Doesn't care. Pedrevsky uncle has come on the stage. Mama is scared. Whatever. People are laughing, clapping, whatever. People now watch. What will Pedrevsky do? Whose test is it now? It is the test of the celebrity. What does he do in public? How does he behave? So Pedrevsky comes off the stage, finds a child playing the piano, and he is the great Pedrevsky. Now Virat Kohli is going to bat, और कोई बच्चा उसका बैट लेके भाग जाए तो क्या करेगा? एक लगाएगा उसको. चलो even who is the kindest gentleman in the team? कौन है? बुमराह, वो भी उसको कहेगा तू हट, मैं जा रहा हूं. Now Pedrevsky has two options. Everybody is watching him. Everybody understands the situation. Pedrevsky understands the situation. This child is playing the piano. First option is gussa, anger. Normal. Call the ushers. What is all this? Why is this child playing the piano? Take him away. I am the great Pedrevsky and you have spoiled my concert. How did you allow this? I am going home to Warsaw. Warsaw is the capital of Poland. Yaad hai na, Mr. Perfect? So then, So then, Pedrevsky has the second option, which is calmness. Calmness. Pedrevsky comes to the child and asks the usher to bring one more stool. And the stool comes. He sits down with the child doesn't stop, and Pedrevsky starts jugalbandi with the child. He starts innovating his concert. His total plan goes for a 6. Now he has to play a new tune along with this very terrible, naughty child. क्या बोलते हैं फ्रेंच में? Enfant terrible. Enfant means infant. Enfant terrible. This child is playing the piano, bang, 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 and Mr. Pedrevsky starts innovating. And they both play together for 1 hour. The child doesn't stop. Sometimes it happens like that. Now the mother goes from being scared to becoming a celebrity. And Pedrevsky becomes a greater celebrity, and the child also becomes a child prodigy. And the whole hall is enthralled, captivated, mantra-mukht, mesmerized. Okay? The power of eloquence. Then everybody claps and gives a standing ovation to Pedrevsky and the 5-year-old boy. Now I want to ask you a question before we close. What qualities did Pedrevsky exhibit in this story? Raise your hands. Yeah. Alright, yes. Yeah.
So calmness, kindness.
Okay, that's enough. Calmness and kindness. You? Yeah?
Sir, I had the same answer.
Same, okay, yeah.
Sir, patience.
Patience, okay, patience, but he had to take a quick decision. Yeah.
Creativity.
Creativity, okay. Innovation, yeah.
Self-control on his mind.
Control on his mind. Very good. All of you are giving good answers. Yeah, over there.
Presence of mind.
Presence of mind, okay, yeah.
Sir, adaptability.
Adaptability. Yeah.
Innovating of new ideas on the spot.
And was he arrogant?
No, sir.
Then? Inclusive, but the word inclusive, but the opposite of arrogance is humility. He was humble. Greatness and humility, they go together. I think I've spoken enough. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Vivek sir, for the wonderful session. You have inspired us all to adopt a cheerful, positive and multi-dimensional approach to our lives. And I'm sure everybody here would agree that we have all been inspired to be more eloquent.
Thank you once again, sir. We would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Mayank Goyal, who is an honoured member of Kendra Committee. Sir, we welcome you to the 3rd Kulwant Singh Literary Fest. A huge round of applause, everyone. Thank you, sir. May I humbly request Ma'am Amar Kulwant Singh ji and Ma'am Mrs. Aarti Gupta to present a small token of our regard and respect to Sir Shri Vivek Atray ji. May I please request Ma'am Principal to please join.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
नमस्कार सभी को मैं आज इस लिटरेरी फेस्ट के मौके पर मुझे इस विद्यालय में आने का बहुत बार मौका मिलता है, लेकिन कई बार क्या होता है, आई एम यूज्ड टू कमिंग टू स्कूल्स giving lecture or as a chief guest or something like that, whatever the movements in the schools. But today is a different occasion. So while I acknowledge and while I convey my gratitude to ma'am for having asked me to be part of this fest, I am really overwhelmed to be part for a while of this function. In fact, it is a learning experience for me also. I would have loved to be here for a whole day or even for whole 2 days, but still, yes, as you all know, we are loaded with so many responsibilities. So I'll be taking leave after this small session of mine, not session, I'll say some few words. All the dignitaries present over here, it is very difficult to name everybody. Yes, it's a luminaries, dais, and the principal ma'am, and all other dear students. Actually, I am used to addressing the gathering of parents, teachers, principals, not students every time. But today, yes, it is really a very challenge for me to address the children. It is a very difficult task. And teachers and principals are used to address the children. So nobody can best address the children than the principal and the teachers. But yes, having stolen your time, some of the speakers I have stolen your time, it is an encroachment from my side, but I will seek your excuse for that. But having come in between, in the midst of this wonderful august house, yes, I could not resist myself to speak few words in between all of you. Children are the most beautiful gift that the nature has given to all of us as parents. So first of all, we need to have applause, great applause for these wonderful, budding nation builders. This has always been a pleasure to be a part of the gathering of students. We feel pride in it. It is like that. It is not speaking, it is not lecturing, it is not, any eloquence or whatever. So many themes are being discussed over here. But I love to interact whenever, time is there. यहाँ पे बहुत सारा डिस्कशन है. मैं हरियाणा में हूँ तो हिंदी और इंग्लिश आई थिंक इट कैन रन गुड टुगेदर. बहुत सारी टॉपिक्स पे आपने आज रखा हुआ है, तो मेरा पास कोई टॉपिक है नहीं, सही बताऊँ, लेकिन बच्चों से मुखातिब हो रहा हूँ ज़्यादा. और ये यहाँ पर कोई भी ऐसे डिग्निटरीज नहीं है कि जिसे एड्रेस करना है, बच्चे हैं यहाँ पर. तो बच्चों के लिए मेरा सिंपल सा 2-4 वर्ड में कहूँगा. देखिए, आप ये 9th सभी क्लास के बच्चे हैं, 9th 10th या सीनियर क्लास के जी, 8th and 9th. तो फेयरली न तो छोटे हैं न बड़े हैं, बट मिडिल एज के हैं और बहुत डोसाइल एज इसको कह सकते हैं. और इसमें आपको बहुत ज़्यादा सतर्क रहने की ज़रूरत होती है, बहुत ज़्यादा अटेंटिव रहने की ज़रूरत होती है. प्रिंसिपल, टीचर्स और पेरेंट्स सभी को आपके प्रति बहुत ज़्यादा ध्यान रखने की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. जहाँ आप लोगों का मैं अभी इंटरेक्शन यहाँ पर देख रहा था, इट वाज वंडरफुल. यू आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड, यू आर वेल रेड. कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जो हमारे को एक्सपीरियंस से पता है. मैं अभी बैठे बैठे सोच रहा था, आई हैव डिफरेंट व्हाइल कमिंग टू दिस प्रोग्राम आई हैड ए डिफरेंट माइंड सेट कि मेरे को वहाँ जाऊँगा तो हो सकता है मैं बोलूँगा तो आई विल हैव ए डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ ऑडियंस. बट मुझे लगा कि ये तो कुछ और ही दूसरा आज यहाँ पे हिसाब किताब है, बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है. तो दिस द ओनली सोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज इज एक्सपीरियंस. तो एक्सपीरियंस भी बहुत चीज़ एक होती है जिसको हमें ध्यान रखने की जरूरत होती है. और जब एज वी ग्रो इन दी स्कूल्स, दैट ऑल्सो बिकम्स ए पार्ट ऑफ आवर एक्सपीरियंस इन लर्निंग. मेरा आपसे सिर्फ ये निवेदन है बच्चों से और अपील आपसे रहता है, वी आर डीलिंग विद जेनजीज. अल्फा जनरेशन आगे आने वाली है, फिर बीटा, फिर गामा, पता नहीं हम लोग कहाँ जाने वाले हैं. और यहाँ पे बहुत सारे हमारे सीनियर्स भी हैं, ब्यूरोक्रेट्स भी रहे हुए हैं, बहुत स्टालवार्स यहाँ पे हैं. मैं उनके सामने बहुत ज़्यादा मैं अपने आप को कॉम्पिटेंट और क्वालिफाइड भी नहीं समझता हूँ कि मैं इतनी बात बोलूँ. बट स्टिल हैविंग गिवन दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी, मैं आप लोगों को ये कहना चाहता हूँ, देयर आर 2 वेज इन लाइफ, ओबीडियंस एंड कमांड. बच्चों के लिए ओबीडियंस सबसे महत्वपूर्ण होती है। आप कितने भी कॉन्फिडेंट हो सकते हैं, कितने भी नॉलेजेबल हो सकते हैं, कितने भी पढ़े लिखे इंटेलिजेंट हो सकते हैं, 99% आप ला रहे हैं, 100% आप ला रहे होते हैं, बट इट्स नॉट लीड टू एन एरोगेंस। ओबीडियंस को ही आपको प्रीकर्सर रखना पड़ेगा, और ओबीडियंस इज precursors to the command. If you want to command in your life, so you need to be obedient. पहला तो एक मेरी बात ये आपको बताने की थी कि ओबीडियंस को रखिए। दूसरा, गुरुजनों के प्रति सम्मान। हाउ विल यू डू दैट? गुरु को क्यों कहा गया है? परमपिता परमेश्वर का दर्जा क्यों दिया गया है गुरु को? डू वी ऑल नो इट? आर वी टेकिंग इट सीरियसली? व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड? मैं समझता हूँ सभी को पता भी होगा, कईयों को नहीं पता भी होगा। क्यों कहा जाता है गुरु को इतना बड़ा, या गुरु के लिए क्यों इतना सम्मान का दर्जा किया? गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु क्यों कहा गया? अब आपको लगता होगा रोज ही तो बोलते हैं, हमारे टीचर भी बोलते हैं, प्रिंसिपल भी बोलते हैं, जहां जाते हैं वहां यही सुनने को मिलता है, गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु। तो भाई क्यों कहा? कभी हैव यू एवर थॉट व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु? कैन एनीवन टेल मी? बताओ बेटा, शाबाश।
Our teachers and everyone are another version of God, and that's why we put the title of Guru in front of the great gods which help us in the morning.
Very good, very good. पहले तो इस बच्चे के लिए क्या नाम बेटा आपका? अनीता। देखिए, आज की डेट में मैं ये ज़्यादा नहीं बताना चाहूँगा, कहीं ना कहीं हम जब जनरेशन जो ये मूवमेंट हमारा डिजिटल एज जो जा रही है, कहीं ना कहीं एक चैलेंज एक टीचर्स के लिए भी खड़ा हुआ है, और बच्चे इस चैलेंज को बहुत अच्छे से समझते हैं। चिल्ड्रन आर फार अहेड ऑफ अस। लेकिन मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि क्यों गुरु को ग्रेट कहा गया है। गुरु ही एक ऐसा आपकी लाइफ में पर्सन है जो आपकी लाइफ में आपको अपने से बड़ा, सबसे बड़ा देखना चाहता है, आपके माँ और बाप के बाद। ये मेरी वर्ड ध्यान से सुन लीजिए बच्चों। अगर आपने सुना है अच्छी बात है, इसको रिकलेक्ट करिए, और अगर नहीं सुना है तो टेक दीज वर्ड्स ऑफ माइंड। गुरु एक ऐसा वर्ड है, आपका टीचर, आपका भाई, इवन मैं आपके भाई की बात बता रहा हूँ, आपकी बहन, आपका चाचा, मामा, ताऊ, मौसी, कोई आपको अपने से बड़ा, अपने बच्चों से बड़ा नहीं देखना चाहता। लेकिन गुरु एक ऐसा है जो आपको हमेशा अपने से बड़ा देखना चाहता है, सबसे बड़ा देखना चाहता है। आपके माँ और बाप के अलावा तीसरा आदमी अगर है, वो आपका गुरु है। उसका सम्मान इसलिए भगवान के तौर पर डाला गया है जो आपको इतनी प्रगतिशील देखना चाहता है। तो दीज आर द वर्ड व्हाई गुरुज आर कॉल्ड ग्रेट। सो यू नीड टू ऑल रिमेंबर दिस। उनका आदर करना सीखना है, और जरूर करना है। इस चीज़ को आप गांठ बांध लीजिए। गुरु का कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता, वो इंटरेस्ट वही होता है कि बच्चे को आगे बढ़ के देखना है। मैं समझता हूँ बोलने के लिए बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं, ये दो वर्ड बहुत है, और एक विनिंग एंड लीडिंग का मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ। वी आर ऑल बोर्न टू सक्सीड इन अवर लाइफ। कोई बच्चा फेल होने के लिए नहीं होता है, और सोसाइटी ही उसको फेल करती है या उसको बड़ा बनाती है, या वी ऑल आर द पार्ट ऑफ मेकिंग ए कैरेक्टर ऑफ ए चाइल्ड। सो पार्टिसिपेशन इज मस्ट। आप इतने लोग पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं इसमें, दैट इज मस्ट। अगर आप पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करेंगे, विन और लूज का मतलब ही नहीं बनता है। तो इवन इफ यू आर नॉट विनिंग, you become a leader. So try to participate in every event, what opportunity comes your way, then you will become a winner, or if not a winner, you will become a leader, not a loser. So I am comparing the winner is a winner, but loser can be a leader. So you have to define. You are not loser, you are a leader if you are participating. It is not that every time you will succeed. It is not that every time you will win. But having participated in any activities of your life, you will learn a lesson what made you fail. So that is a great lesson. That will make you, that will give you the way how to lead in your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shekhar Chandra sir for your words of wisdom. We had all gathered here today to celebrate the power of words vis-a-vis literature. May the words of wisdom, wit and wonder inspire us all to become better day by day. With this thought in mind, I now request one and all present here to please rise up for the national anthem.
Jana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata